The stream link has picked it up. It has. Beautiful. You will be with me for the foreseeable future. Just gonna put up YouTube, the stints and everything now. Put the GT7 driver and at Suzuka 12 hours. Alright. I hope everyone can hear me and can hear me well. You're going to be with me for a long time. Eclipse, okay, on its back. Steve Moss in AHR's car, Oak in Project Platypus's car, Hunden's in Eclipse's car there, Capale in fourth for Queen's Head, Quito in Aero purple, Klinger in Aero GT blue, Wide in the silver. Not technically GT white, I guess. Then we've got Matt Debater in the V-Crap car, Bummy in Lost Track and Racing. Yupper will take the wheel for the Finns in Tube 2. Scythe in for Aero GT Green. Anonymous in for his third stint on the trot in the T3 car, and then Spin as well. In at the moment, Iron is in as well. Iron kind of just glanced over apparently for the Slipstream Racing team. Currently in second place. Do I need to set the grid? I do need to set the grid. It's Keto versus Iron versus Oak. Then it is Aero GT Blue, which is Klinger. And then after Klinger, it is White. So that is White going back again. It's Queen Head, which is Capale. I do not expect a lot from Capale, if I'm completely honest with you. It's T3 with Anonymous. And Spin on the back of that. And it is Lost Track and Racing. So that is Dummy. Followed by Apex Hunter Racing, which is Digimos. If I apparently can remember who goes where. That's Tube 2, so that is Yupper. Then Eclipse, which is Hunden. Then it is Matt in V-Crap, Aero GT Gold, and I don't believe we are going to be joined by VZ. As far as I am aware, they are not going to be here, so they'll be extended to the maximum available time at the end of the third stint. I don't have to check the stall lobby settings, because if they're wrong, we blame Ross. I'm obviously not driving. But starting soon there, and we will go 8.5 minutes, so that'll be VZ's time coming into the fourth stint, then the wet stint. Try and make up 8.5 minutes worth of clock. Give me 1 second. We'll get going. No one said that they're not ready to go, so we're gonna go. All right. 3 drivers on the lead lap. Everyone will go into the pits off the start, and we'll figure it out from there. Keto will be the lead car, followed by Iron about 15 seconds later, and then Oak about a minute after that. Staggered there. Well, everyone's just going to start as they are, and then at the formation lap-esque type of thing, and then we'll have a staggered start from the pit lane based on how much time that they have amassed so far behind the lead. So it's 18 seconds in the pit for Aero GT Purple, and then a 34.4 for Slipstream, and then a whole 85 seconds for Project Platypus. We have about a minute and 25 total then. We got Aero GT Blue 2 minute 53. Why not that far behind? About 6.5 seconds off the back of that, with Queen's Head basically immediately after. So we'll get a few bits of racing at the start of the stint. We are on lap 1 of 84. And racing for the 3 hours. So, how is everyone doing so far on this fine Saturday afternoon? I've had a decent day so far. I am very, very excited to watch a bunch of cars drive around Suzuka and see who can make the least amount of mistakes, to be honest with you. Right now, it is bone dry. And it does not look like there is any rain on the radar at all either. So we will have to keep an eye out on that as we go along. 3 hours is a very, very long time. It's mediums for Keto at the moment, but we obviously will be going into the pits in due course. Mediums for basically the entire grid. Wides on softs. Soft for Capale. Soft for Spin and 8th. Is that better? Someone said they could hear me loud and clear, so that's on them. Is that better? Also, Lemonade, you've been through so many of my commentaries at this point. You know it's about to get loud. Yeah, so we're driving with 14. The 15 not available for this stint. Yeah, if you need anything, please do let me know. If I can do anything from my end. How are we yellow flagged? What are we doing? How are we actually yellow flagged here? What could you have possibly have done? It's a formation lap, lads. How are we drawing a yellow flag? That's unbelievably impressive. Everyone coming in roughly the same amount of fuel. Eyes on the soft, just burning ever so slightly more. Alright, here we go. Just waiting for Keto to be the first out the pits here, and everything will start to kick off in an orderly fashion. Here we go. We are off to the races. Klinger has, for some reason, gone far too early. Klinger has gone far too early. Klinger needs to be about 3 minutes off the lead here. Someone got rear damage straight away. Klinger, it needs to be a long way back. Got reset onto the starting grid as well. It needs to be about 3 minutes. Yeah, 3 minutes to the dot back off the lead. Also, not that far actually. About 240. Just there and thereabouts off the lead. Klinger got it wrong. Oak hasn't started yet. 1:13 on the clock for him. He's not that far away actually, away from being about to start his lap. Or his race here, his stint. There we go, there's the fuel going in, so he is off and running. It's slightly suboptimal. It's ever so slightly suboptimal. People on the track. Keto currently 11 seconds clear of Iron. I would expect Iron to start driving towards Keto here. Okay, now out of the pits. He is 118 off the lead. Klinger still rolling across the track. Still a long way back. Yeah, then why did technically the next one out? Aero GT1 too, yeah. Yeah, a small penalty if we don't get back to that situation. Also, yeah, there's damage all the way down the card. There's wide got front and rear damage. Same for Capale and for Anonymous. Front damage for Spin. Front for Bowie as well. And then the back of the grid has survived by the looks of things. There is a lot of damage here. In the middle of the pack, White's going to have to fix his. Fueling up the car right now. And it does fix his damage. You'd imagine Capale is off the running as well. Capale may have beat him out. Capale had beat him out. Capale had beat him out. They both had damage. Capale put a little bit less in. Both had to fix the damage as well. So Capale is out ahead of them. That gets a lot more interesting now then. Anonymous and Spin has just started off and running. Klinger can effectively see these guys in the mirror and start driving. When these two come up to him. Actually, a little bit before that, actually. 2:24 now. He's to be about 6 seconds clear of Capale and company. Maybe a little bit more, given the fact that he had died in the on the formation lap somehow. Alright, if Klinger, I would get up and running, Klinger. He can get up and running now. He can get up and running. Why is he not up and running? What is he doing? They're the two cars he should be fighting. What is he doing? If I was Aero GT Blue, somebody needs to get on the line to Klinger and needs to do it a lot quicker than that. Wow. Okay. Well, there goes the 6 second gap eviscerated immediately. Well then. That's a start and a half. Anonymous is 5 seconds off the back of Spin as well. Spin had gone a half tank of fuel. Anonymous went the full way. Bunny's ahead of Stigimos. An 18-second gap between the two of them. Yupper the next one out. Be about 40 seconds off the back of the car in front. They're waiting on a couple of drivers elsewhere. So we'll have a look at what's going on here between Capale and Wide. Wide is ahead of Capale again. Yeah, and then some would be an adequate reaction. I would have seen these two cars and I would have started hitting the pedal immediately. I mean, you had about a 6 second advantage. You'd been safe, you'd been safe then, but either way, we have to watch Capale and White now. These two are comfortably ahead of Klinger. About 4.5 seconds now, the advantage there. Wide just hanging on in the GT White, Aero GT White car at the moment, even though it's very clearly silver. Capale trying to make his way past. Alright, we're going into the hairpin in lap number 3 for Wide and for Capale. Trying to figure each other out at the start of this stint. Both of them are on soft. Capale had a little bit less fuel than his enemy at this point in time, actually, given the fact that how close they are on the track. The Canadians just making a bit of a meal of that. That's a little bit deep on the entrance into Spoon. It's a little bit deep on the exit out of Spoon. And that's not going to help his case in the slightest. That's going to give Wide a little bit of an advantage here. Wide currently 7/10 the fastest. A little bit further forward. Keto 12 seconds ahead of Iron. That gap extended just a little bit actually since the last time we saw those two. It was 11 prior. 16, however, at the start of the day. Well, the start of the stint. The answer is Klinger jumped the gun. Klinger jumped the gun and then stayed back for instead of running things. Nope, ERL are definitely not in third. ERL. No, it's Project Platypus in third, sorry. Capel now 1 point. It actually got back within a second of Wide. Klinger 5.5 seconds off the back of the pack, and then Spin is 8 seconds ahead of Anonymous. Dummy 36 off the back of that. And then Stigimos 19 further, with the upper 46 seconds off the back of Stigimos and AHR. And then Matt Debater in 12th, Honda in 13th. Not a good start for him in the slice. I'm not sure what going on there. So he's currently about 18 seconds off the back of the V-Crap car. And Scythe tailed off the group, full tank on the soft tyres. ERL or Eclipse in 13th then. See if we can find any sort of battling at this point in time. Emerald currently sits himself at the rear of the field. Well, technically the rear bar one, because VZ are not in the lobby at this point in time. Wide 1.6 seconds ahead of Capel here for 4th and for 5th. The Aero GT blue car dropping multiple positions straight away off the botched start. He is on the medium tyres though. You expect Capel and Wide to be able to extend that gap a little bit further while the tyre difference is a thing. Keto and Iron at the front of the grid right now have a large amount of gap between them and Oak in third, who's 1.6 off the back of Iron, 1.18 off the lead. Wide a further 120 back with it, starting to clear Capel just a little bit for Aero GT White at the moment. We've got Klinger 6.6 back. No one really closing the gaps in at this point in time. Blue flag's already flying at the first corner. Wonder who it is that is going to be the one flagging it. It is Anonymous, actually, in 8th place there, looking to put a lap on Matt Debater. The blue flag showing up again. He is still quite significantly ahead of Anonymous at this point in time. Not really got a lot to worry about there. Honda has been lapped by Anonymous. Scythe is on the back of him. Scythe is on the back of him. Bearing in mind, they both started 5.5 minutes off the lead. Basically starting at the same time, these two. How did Matt Debater get up to 5 minute 12 from the lead? I'm not sure if he got that right. No. Pretty sure B-Crap were also 5.5 minutes off the group. Interesting. Not sure if that's true that he's managed to gain that kind of time straight away. Wide is now 2.6 seconds clear of Capel. We don't have an awful lot going on at this point in time. Capel's going to have to find some form of fighting edge here to go straight back after Aero GT White in the middle of the pack. You know, 4, 5, and 6 in their own little race at the moment. First and second, well and truly fighting for the lead of this one at this point in time. Spin and Anonymous in their own little race as well, currently in 7th and in 8th. group fairly spread apart at the moment. Who is the car behind Oak? Who are the cars, plural? I think it might be Honda. It is Honda and it is Saif. Okay, so Aero GT Emerald and ERL both looking to close the gap on this stint at the very least, or try and limit to as close to 5.5 minutes as they can possibly find. It is a 3-hour stint, however. A long, long way to go. We are 15 minutes in. There's Saif, 4/10 of a second off the back of Honda right now. 3/10 of a second even. As they go through the S's, the gap closing in towards the back of the pack. Saif is just trying to find his way on that inside line. Can't really get it on the end of the S's. Now they're going to go into the burst of the Degners here. We're about to call them ledge mode, but that's not what they are. They are, that's the Italian version of those couple of corners. Saif did not get a good run at all. A little bit of AstroTurf kicking up on the exit of the second Degner. Not good news there for Saif. He's dropped 8/10 of a second back. Needs to keep within the second hold on to Eclipse. These two need to work together to catch up to Matt. They are, well, soft to Saif for the moment. Mediums for Honda in 13th. Matt on the soft as well, getting flagged again. I imagine that might be, I don't even know who that one is actually, but I know that we will go to dummy and he is about to have blue flags rained on him from the leader of the race in Gita. See the Aero GT purple car there in the background. Klinger has managed to bring that gap to Capel down just a little bit. It's now 5.5 from what was 6.5. It is 5.5 seconds wide. Who's got a penalty ahead of Capel. That's going to cut that gap down inside 5 seconds. It's not going to do too much harm to White here, who is on a fantastic start to a stint. 59.9 currently the fastest lap of the race, so fastest lap of the stint so far. See if he can continue to improve on that. Right now, 1:16 off the back of Oak has actually closed that in just ever so slightly. Oh, Oak's having a bit of a problem dealing with the back markers. At this point in time, the back markers are still there and getting around. Oak is now a further 10 seconds off the lead than where he was. And he's got damage as well. He's got damage as well. Oak has damage on the front left of his car. And the gap is going to widen even further. Saif is having a bit of a mare. Oak not really got control of his car at all. Saif is off the track. Saif has got himself no damage on the car though, but he is off the track and struggling. And has dropped to now 5 seconds off the back of the car in front. But the big news at the start of this stint is that the first mistake of this stint is going to be attributed to Oak of Project Platypus. Oak 1:10 ahead of White. That gap is going to be probably about half. He is struggling through the lap, sliding his car at every opportunity at the moment. He is 1:18 off the back of Iron. That gap's going to extend quite some distance. I can imagine there probably is going to be a situation with a pit stop coming here for Oak. Unless he just is going to firm this damage. He has a very long gap to fall into. And it is going to be a pit stop for Oak then. Pit stop for Oak off the medium tyres. Going to be fixing that damage. The real question is, what's the strategy call going to be? That gap's going to probably extend over the 2-minute mark now then. To Quito in the lead. Which means Perry in the wet's going to have some massive work to do. Fuel barely going in. Softs on the car now. Perry's going to have a lot of work to do because Oak is 153 from the lead. That wet stint still to come. And then Jensen in the car for Project Platypus in Stint 5 and Stint 6. I'll have to cover up at least a couple of minutes worth of ground at this stance. Iron trying to catch up to the back of Stygimars to put a lap on him. He is 12.3 off the back of Keto. That gap really not shifting at all. Been very, very stable for a while now. I don't think either driver is going to be too cautious at this, too aggressive at this point. A long way to go in this stint. Bear in mind, that thing has done 4 hours. I don't think he's going to get back in the car at all today. So, probably the fastest driver out the way in terms of the Aero GT purple car. We'll see if anyone else can take advantage of that. Stygimars getting out the way. Looks like Iron now has a clean shot to try and close down some of that 12.5 second advantage that Keto currently has over him. Wide now 11 seconds clear of Capel. Capel is not having a good stint. Oh, good stint on the softs here. Klinger is right on the back of him. He is struggling. 2:08 is the best lap so far, an entire second slower than what Wide has been able to do. He was fighting not that long ago. Wide is well and truly got the better of him. 2-0 on the last lap to a 2-6. So Capel had a mistake somewhere. Avoided damage as a result. Here comes Klinger around the outside. Capel very much driving to cut that off. Here comes Klinger now round the outside of Spears. Is he going to try and hang it in? He does not. He has got better tyres. He's on fairly new medium tyres at the moment, is Klinger. Capel on very worn softs. Klinger just looking for that way round the Canadian. Can he find it? Is the question. Round into 130R. Is it going to happen? Nope, not here. He's going to be a little bit wide, is Klinger. It'll give Capel enough of a chance to stay alive for now. In 5th place. Wonder how long he's turned to go on these soft tyres. Could get very interesting very quickly in him trying to defend from the Danish. Here comes Klinger to the inside, trying to look at turn 1. Doesn't go for the move in turn 1. Stays where he was. Still 2 minutes. Well, these guys are now 2 minutes 50 back off the lead. Capel will have the advantage in the S's. Don't really think there's going to be too much the Aston can do here to make a clean move over Capel in the first sector now. I think Capel will be able to hang on. Now they're going into the second sector. There's a few more corners here with overtaking opportunities. The two we're about to hit, the two Degners are the first two of those with opportunities to overtake. It's not going to be taken though by Klinger. Not quite close enough. If he can get a good run here, the hairpin will be a glorious opportunity. He has definitely got a good run here. He's going to pull to the inside of the corner prior to the hairpin. It'll leave him on the outside in the hairpin itself, which will give Capel enough run to hold very much firm, but it is not going to be long enough as Klinger gets a good exit, and it's now past the Canadian. Klinger up into 5th after the botched start. Saw him drop from 4th to 6th. Recovered 1 place, got 13 and some change to go to catch up to Wide, and that is going to be a very, very difficult task to achieve if Wide can keep it together. Capel doesn't look too in control of that car. Every time it's just narrowly wide on the entrance, on the exit of each corner at the moment. It just doesn't seem to be carrying the speed, the requisite speed he needs. Matt Debater's had a bit of a problem as well, trying to keep himself together. 2:10 on lap 7 is a problem for him because he got wide again. And ALR are looking to make a move. Can they get past V-Crap up into 12th? And on the inside goes Honden. Down to 130R. Had the advantage in the Lamborghini. Will have the place in the Lamborghini. Ended up in the 12th. So up into 12th goes Honden. Matt drops a position in the V-Crap car. Blue flag starting to rain down. Matt is into the pits. Off the soft tyres. Saif is about to be lapped by Dummy there in 9th. Honda now has 33 seconds to go to catch Yupper in front. Yupper and the finish have been very, very lonely in 11th since I joined, since I started watching toward the end of the second stint of the race entirely. Demos 13 off the back of Dummy, who is in 9th, is getting flagged at the moment. I think it's Oak that's doing the flagging. Oak's about to be lapped. Oak is about to have a lap put on him by Keto here. Keto just looking to try and get past the Project Platypus car. This would be pretty big. It will mean that it's just Keto versus Iron on the first lap here. Don't forget, in Daytona, the Aero GT, the purple car in particular, won that first race in Daytona and was cruised that first race in Daytona. Is probably a more apt description for it. Looking to add to this one to the collection. Is this an eSports race? No, not really. Esports races don't start until the following week. Pale into the pits off the soft tyres now then. Oak is trying to put a lap on Matt as well as he looks to avoid getting himself lapped in the process. It didn't look clean at all from Oak on the exit of the second of the two Degners. It's not really a good sign going further into this race if he keeps flying like that. Iron is now 4 seconds off the back of Keto, who did 2:07 on lap 11. Has not really had a good time here. Trying to get past lapped cars as well is just going to give Iron a little bit more of a chance to close the gap. And all of a sudden, the 16-second advantage that came into the Stint 3 with has eviscerated. It's now a 4-second advantage that Iron has to make up, and that I would fancy Iron to do. This is going to be very interesting then. Oak currently on the fastest lap of the race so far, but also kind of tailed himself off the front two with the damage. It was 116, I think it was, and now it's 158. It's not good news on this stint so far for the orange and black. Wide 31 seconds only off the back of Project Platypus now. And if you're wide, do you look at that and do you think that might be attainable come the end of the race itself in its entirety in a few hours' time? The end of the stint might not be, that 31 seconds might not be attainable, but you could do a decent amount of damage to it. Knowing that Oak has to pit at least one time more now. Klinger 13 seconds off the back of wide, that's been fairly set. Capel now 36.3 off the back of Klinger after his first pit stop of the stint. Honden looking potentially to try and catch up to Capel to take a lap off of him. We'll wait and see if he can manage that. Capel 10 seconds ahead of Spin, who is only 1.8 ahead of Anonyma right now after Spin's pit stop. I think Spin went in on the last lap, 2:17 there. You can see on the end of lap 11. Continue on, Anonyma 2 seconds behind. You would imagine Spin is going to start opening that gap again. Fresh softs compared to somewhat one mediums at this point. Saif has finally been overtaken by Dummy, as Dummy put an extra lap on him. Sigimos is 14 seconds off the back of 9th. Yupper is 40 seconds further back off that. Honden is very slowly but surely catching that gap to Yupper in front. Wonder how much damage he can do to that gap come the end of this stint. That's going to be the question for ERL. Can they catch up to the Finns of Q2 Racing? Crap, currently 11 seconds at the back of the grid with Stigimos about to put a lap on them. 6:11 to the front of the field. Still within the time that they could be if they were to the max of a lot of time. Oh, Matt going again, just very, very deep, sorry, into turn 1. It doesn't look controlled in the slightest. Again, dropping time to Scythe. Honda now 31.7 back. He is actually starting to pick up the pace just a little bit. 0.6 of a second on the last lap, quicker than Yupper. If we keep doing that for the rest of the stint, he might actually catch him. That's getting very interesting then. 3RL looking to try and make themselves towards 11th place. 11-3, 1-3, sorry, on the last lap for Yupper. We'll get a very quick idea of what Honda is going to be doing on the back of Capel right now. Imagine he's getting a little bit of a tow from that Queen's Head car, who has not had a good start to his stint in the slightest. He is very much off kilter to the rest. So 2:08 on the last lap. Again, another half-second clear of what Yupp has been able to do. A little bit forward. Spin is now 4 seconds clear of Anonyma and is slowly catching up to Capel. 7 seconds split those two. Wide 16 seconds further up, but he has pit for medium tyres now. Klinger still on the first set of mediums that he started on. 2:11 is his fastest lap so far. Wide 21 seconds further off the back. Oak 37 seconds clear of the Aero GT blue team at this point in time. 2 minutes behind Iron, who's actually just lapped Oak himself with 2 seconds in the gap to the lead. 2.7 for Iron against Keto. And Iron just did a 2:04 on the medium tyre. 2:04, shall I say, on the medium tyre. Keto has got to find a little bit of pace. Iron half a second quicker a lap at the moment. It's very much looking like Slipstream Legends are just starting to make a little bit of inroads now on that Aero GT purple car. It's not going to be as straightforward for Aero GT as it was this time last season. It's going to be very interesting to see how Keto responds here. Because I can imagine that Keto himself is going to be very aware the gap has been shrunk massively at the start of this stint. You can see it peering into picture now then. That is first, second, and then third a lap down. Anything else? It looks like Wide is starting to close the gap on Klinger ever so slightly on the fresher tyres. Capel 18 seconds off the back of Wide is a long way back. Watt calling out Ross. Anonymous 6 seconds, nearly 7 seconds off the back of Spin. Wack beefing with the actual server's channel, with server's account. Things you see, things you don't see every day. Honda is just slowly but surely closing in on Yupper, but it's nowhere near as extreme as it was on the last couple of laps. That debater is still being tailed off at the back of the pack right now. 2:03.4 on the last lap. Scythe did a 2:17 on the last lap. It's just increasing by multiple seconds a lap at this point. We'll see. Are we going to get any sort of battles here? Spinner's really closing on Capel, so that will be a battle sooner rather than later. But we will go to the front. We'll go back to the front. It is the closest battle on the track right now. 2.7 seconds between Keto and Iron. The Italian versus the Dutch. And Wonder if that's going to have anything else happening with it. 2.4 now, the gap. Iron just a little bit slower on the exit of second Degner there. I am partial to a good Monterey Jack cheese, honestly. Oh, Oak again sliding the car out the hairpin. He does not look comfortable in that vehicle in the slightest. It looks extremely problematic to drive right now. Gito now only 2.1 up the lead. The blue flag's starting to wave. It looks like Honda and Capello are at it at the moment. Blue cheese being a favorite cheat is psychopathic behavior. Utterly psychopathic behavior. Admittedly, I would take something with a bit of spice to it. Here comes, Honda obviously just been overtaken by Capel very recently for a lap being put on. Spin is the next car up. Whatever they put on pizza. What? How basic. Basic, pretty much like his driving style right now, because he is being hunted down by Spin in 7th. Spin is closing him quite heavily, and this is not the situation I think Capel expected to be in at the beginning of the day. I feel like Capel going against Spin, I feel like Queen's Head would want to have been a little bit further ahead than that. White now 20 seconds, less than 20 seconds behind Klinger, and actually less than 20 seconds ahead of Capel right now. This is the third stint in a row for Anonyma. Started at 9 AM this morning, still going at this point in time in 8th. No cheats on pit. Did I just read that right? No cheese on pizza. What? Why? I don't know which one's worse, having blue cheese as a favourite cheese or not having cheese on your pizza. Someone go and tell Jack never to step foot in Italy. I think he may have just committed a crime. Against the Italians in particular. No cheese on the pizza is asinine. Honestly. 1.8 the lead now. Iron is closing in, lap on lap, 201.0 on the last lap. 201.3, sorry, for Quito. Out in front. It's not going to be too easy for him. Jack is an Italian peasant. That's what we've established now. Also, Spin's got a decent gap to Anonyma at the moment because Spin is going after Capel, honestly. 2 seconds to gap to the lead now, 2.3 between Spin and Capel, 11 seconds further back to Anonyma in 8th. I'm sorry, having no cheese on your pizza is psychopathic. I don't care. Or apparently Italian peasant. That also works. Someone needs to change Jack's nickname in the server to Italian peasant. .5 now, the gap between Spin and Capel as they head down the home straight here, down towards turn 1. It'll look like Spin's going to be close enough for now. Still 1.3 the gap there. 12 seconds to Anonyma further back. Good afternoon, Jensen. Oak has died on the stint already. You have a decent amount of work to do later on. Capel 1.2 still ahead of Spin. Not really doing too much damage for an overtake there. The gap at the front. The gap is 1.6 between Keto and Iron. Vying for the lead. Keto is about to approach Scythe though. One Aero GT putting a lap on another. We're currently on lap 20 of 84 in this one. Then you've got, Oak 2 minutes 6 off the back of the group. I've actually managed to keep somewhat well with the front two since the lap was put on his head. We'll see if that's going to be something he can manage. Klinger 38 seconds off the back of Oak and 18 ahead of Wide, who is slowly but surely putting a dent in. He pit on lap 8 because he had damage. At the end of 7, beginning of 8, I think. Because he got damage on the bit at the end of the S's on the same lap. Capel 20 seconds off the back of Wide. He is struggling massively right now. I don't believe he did. No. Someone else could go back. We watched him go into the pits. I think it was 8. My brain is telling me 8. It might have been later. Pretty sure someone can go back in the stream and figure it out. But he did. Yeah, he pit after he crashed. He gave up at least about 40 seconds total worth of time in that situation. It was 118 at the beginning of the day. It's now 206. Actually, about 50 seconds given up. Iron into the pits now, 2 seconds off the back of Keto. Oak into the pits for the second time. Alright, Oak into the pits then. You cannot have a normal stint free. That is effectively in the rules at this point. Wide 18.7. Capel is now... Well, he did take the end of lap 8. Okay, I'm not going that insane yet. Honda's is still here and thereabouts, actually. He's doing a fairly decent job at the moment of trying to get ERL back into this. Spin has still got his indicator on. This time it's the opposite indicator. He is really on the back of Capel now. 8 tenths of a second that splits Spin and Capel. Both of, well, medians for Capel right now. Softs for Spins. They're pretty much just under 50. In regards to all of this as well. He's going to start tailing off the times if he can't get Capel here. He needs to get past Capel. Yeah, apparently you're Zach the Italian peasant. I don't know where the Zach come from. I don't know. I feel like I'm missing context clues for that one. Here comes Spin. Is he going to be able to go for this? Capel dives to the inside and makes sure he holds on to position for now. And he closes the door on Spin. As well defended by Capel. It might be defended well enough, to be honest with you, that stopped Spin coming after him. I would assume so. But I'm not entirely sure how the two of them would get confused. Not entirely sure how the two of those would get confused, to be completely honest with you. More of my questioning. Spin, yeah, he's going to start dropping off the back of Capel here. Those tires are going to tail off. I think Capel did enough to hang on against him. Makes sense. Oh, Spin getting a nice tighter line there against Capel into the hairpin, but I think that's going to be advantage. Capel on the exit. Aston Martin seemingly quicker in a straight line than that Nissan is by actually quite some distance. I wonder if this is going to be if Spin's going to be able to take advantage of this then. In the upcoming couple of straights, it's straight all the way down to 130R, then down into the chicane. I wonder if there's going to be any sort of gap closing here. We know Iron's pit once, so those two are not particularly close at the front of the grid. We'll see if there's anyone else close in a second. Doesn't look like... Oh, Honda having a bit of a mare in the background there, keeping it on the track. Just about. Has kept it together somehow. 0.6 of a second now for Spin. That is not enough. Not even close to enough to get past down the wall turn 1. Yeah, I think he's going to be far too shy of attempt for an overtake into turn 1. Alright. 16 seconds the advantage from Spin to Anonymous in 8th. You've got Stingy Moss in 9th, 12 seconds ahead of Dummy in 10th. Oh, Oak is all over the place again! Wow. Okay, so Spin... Oak having a bit of a mare again on the exit of Spoon Curve. He is still there and thereabouts. It wasn't that long since a pit then, I assume, for... yeah, it was on lap 18, the end of 18, the dummy pit. 150 seconds behind that, and Yupper has actually come out right behind Honden after Yupper's pit. So, 3 seconds worth of penalties as well for Yupper will extend that gap just a little bit. Siphon 13 from Matt Debater is tailed off last. 2:13 on lap 15 is not a good sign. That is for certain. Yupper is about to serve his 3-second time penalty. We'll see the gap between him and the Dutchman in 11th. After that, Honden's going to get a chance to just drive away for a little bit. Looks like that gap is going to be up about 6 seconds. Yeah, that gap is going to be about 6 seconds from the Finn to the Dutchman then. Let's see what Yupper can do to try and calm that gap down. He is in significantly better fashion in terms of his tyres, so I would expect it to come back down. Capel is still ahead of Spin. It's not particularly convincing at this point in time of this entire stint so far for Capel. I wonder if there's going to be any sort of overtake that's going to happen sooner rather than later. Spin is on his final lap before a pit stop. Capel will start to drive away now. Spin is pitting at the end of the lap. Wide 23 seconds further ahead, and he is closing down on Klinger fairly comfortably right now. Oak, 155 off the back of Iron, 227 off the lead. Which means Oak is having a lot of problems. I have just set the fastest lap of the race, so of the stint so far, the 58.9. It's a good lap in return. It's a lap he has needed for a long time now. He just needs to spam those as much as he can. 2:26 to the lead means he's lost an entire minute to Keto, who has gone long, admittedly, on the first stint. 32 seconds clear of Iron at the moment. Hasn't pit yet. I can imagine that pit stop won't be too far away, though, given the amount of fuel he has currently got in his car. Emerald currently in second to last. Have a look in, as we go down the grid here. Capel is now 1.6 ahead. Actually, 2.3, sorry. Ahead of Spin. That gap continuously improving. Honda actually got past as well. So Spin into the pits. Spin has Honda into the pits as well, off the medium tyres. Oh, what was a good, very good first stint for Honda in this stint 3. Saib 37 seconds off the back of the Dutchman, and then 34 seconds clear of Matt, who is having a worse stint than Capel is somehow. I am happy with this. I would be the one being removed. Keto into the pits now. We'll see if there's going to be anything, and this is 28 seconds now between Honda and Yupper. So that gap has come down fairly significantly as well. Honda is doing a very good job of just trying to breach the advantage the finish had built. A very good situation right now for Honda as a whole, for nearly 5 seconds clear of Aero GT Emerald as well. They will very much take this opening 22 laps. .7 right now between Dummy and Stigi. Stigi is not very far away from his pit stop here off of the medium tyres. Spinning 17 seconds ahead of Stigi, but Stigi and 19, nearly 20 seconds off the back of Anonymous at this point in time. Anonymous can't be too far away from his pit stop. Capel in a little world of his own right now. I had actually taken the lead of the race. Yeah, you are right. That was off the pit stop. Well and truly off the pit stop to the full tank for Keto then. The pit stops are being a little bit inverted here. I would assume that Iron may have one extra stop to make, given how early that stop was. It was only on lap 20, actually. In 4 stops worth of this. Could be very interesting to see what he does toward the end, but he is in a very good position here. Keto's gap has been slashed basically the entirety of the first 20 laps. So I'm not too surprised that Keto is suffering the, well, that kind of loss right now. All right, now 5 seconds clear for Iron, and it's very clear why he takes part for NWR at the moment. He went in the car and he's done the job, the exact job he was told to do. Anyway, and see, 154 is the gap between Oak and Keto. It's actually a lot less than that now. 147. Keto having not the greatest of times right now. No longer lapped by second is Oak. Actually, I don't think he's lapped at all. Oak is no longer. Oak is back on to the onto the lead lap, but he just put another one up on Stigimos. So Klinger into the pits here then. So Wide will get in front of him by quite some margin. I can't imagine Capel being remotely close. So we'll have to see how close Capel actually is on the exit of the stop here. Anonymous 20 seconds behind and then 17 ahead of Spin. So we aren't going to get an awful lot of battling at the moment until Dummy catches up with Stigimos. Honda is opening that gap to Saif each corner at this point. Klinger is out. And he is out. It's about 6 seconds ahead of Capel. It's not as strong as they thought the gap would be. That being said, Capel's already done half of his second stint. Anonymous into the pit stand. Wide had a very substantial advantage in fourth. Aero GT White overtaking Aero GT Blue in this stint. Wide has done a fantastic job of keeping them in arm's reach, realistically. 231 is actually, to the lead, is actually less than what Aero GT Blue started with at the beginning of the third stint. So Wide has done a number. At this point in time, we are almost an hour through, and, well, to say that this is to say that this has not had a lot is an understatement. We have got a long way to go. Oak has had a bit of a dramatic race so far, but he's managed to get his stuff together realistically. 2.9 now, the battle at the lead. So Quito is just starting to reel that back in again. 205 on the last, 2005 on the last lap compared to the 202 for Iron, who needs to find a little bit more pace again. I'm very intrigued. It's not been great for Klinger. It's not been great for Oak. Obviously, both of those having the high-profile mistakes. Capel not having the greatest stint either. He is only 6 seconds off the back of the Aero GT blue car at this point in time. Spin 37 seconds further back off Capel. Anonymous 18 after that, with Dummy 5 seconds off the back of Anonymous now. Sigimos has been cleared by about 32 seconds in his own little world, 32 seconds either side of him. Yupper is still 28 seconds ahead of Honden, who's got slightly better tyres at this stage of the race. Imagine the gap is going to continue to come down, but it won't be coming down very heavily. And Saif 42 seconds off the back of the Dutchman, and then Matt Debater 7 seconds off the back of that at the back of the grid. 6:20 off the lead. Everyone's still ahead of that 8 minute 30 at this point in time. We'll wait and see how everything continues to unfold. 28 of 84 at the front. Iron 2 minute 4. About a tenth slower, if that, almost actually to the dot on Quito on the last lap, and I think he would be more than acceptful of that. At this point in time, if Quito was only taking a tenth of a second out of him. It's going to have to be a better first sector than this, to be honest with you, if you're going to hold Quito back to just a tenth every lap, though. Even though Quito's going to have to make a mistake. He is currently on his fastest lap of the stint. Can't imagine I can say the same for Quito. We'll wait and see. That exit on the hairpin suits Quito significantly better than what it has been doing for Iron at the moment. It's interesting because they're in the same car. The only thing that's probably different is the situation on the tyres and the aero that these two teams are using. Apologies. Not me almost choking straight away. Klinger crashed. Oh, he did. Yeah, he's 4 seconds off the back of Capel now. Let's see if we can see what happened there. Apparently we cannot. Brilliant. Thank you. I appreciate you, keyboard. There you go. 4 seconds then is the gap between Capel and Klinger. So Capel now inheriting 5th again. Klinger making the mistake. The 220, well, that was the pit lap 24-25. So this will be the mistake that he made. This will be the lap where he makes the mistake. Not a lot that looked like there's wrong with the car. No damage in particular, which is what Klinger will be taking from this. He had lost a significant amount of time. You got Yupper and Capel. Yupper and Capel up ahead. We're actually going to go to these two. Yupper looks like a little bit more competitive than Capel does at the moment. Oh, Capel goes wide. Capel goes very wide. Yupper on the outside. Trying to unlap it. We'll take a lap of him at the moment. Capel not really granting any space. And I think Yupper will stay behind Capel for now. Capel not really granting Yupper any space at all there on the outside, even though Yupper was definitely alongside. Capel will stay ahead of him though, down into turn 1. And out of turn 2 as well, Yupper getting a little bit slidey. It looks like Capel is still fighting at the moment. I love how Queen's Head bantering Aero GT Blue, not realizing that Klinger has already caught up 2.5 seconds. Klinger is about to have Capel on stilts at this rate. Yupper is trying to put Capel on stilts at this point in time as well. Yupper is trying to overtake Capel about 3 or 4 times now. Capel needs to get a move on. Here comes Yupper again, the inside. Oh, I think Yupper just caught the grass. I think Yupper has caught the grass and he's put himself in the gravel. On what was a really good fight with Capel right up until that one slight mistake. And all of a sudden the gap to Honden will just melt away. Cut down a few seconds here. Yep, and by a few, I probably should have mentioned it'll be double digits. Down to 15 seconds behind now, Honden on Yupper. Now that might be a costly mistake for the finish. Come the end of this stint. No, there was nothing wrong from Capel's side. That was just Yupper caught the inside of the corner before the hairpin. He caught too much of the inside, clipped a little bit of blade of grass and span. Tried to save the spin, admittedly. Didn't quite manage to get the car stopped. Capel, 3/10 of a second ahead of Klinger. This is going to be child's play for Klinger at this point. Klinger's got better tyres for a long way, potentially doing a stop less than Capel as well. I think Capel is about to be overtaken on the track here. Quite frankly, I don't really see a way that Capel does not get overtaken. He is all over the place. The wide lines are not helping him. Klinger looking to the inside. Klinger gets alongside to the inside, on the outside of the Degners and has to sit behind. Tries to switch back. Capel's at the AstroTurf. And Capel is going to stay ahead ever so slightly. Klinger's got a nice exit. Klinger to the inside. Doesn't really get enough alongside to push and move and won't be able to get it in the hairpin either.
I've decided to join.
Ross is back. I don't know if there's... his voice should be heard on the stream. I hope people can hear him. Here comes Klinger, back to the inside. And we'll be on the outside for Spoon's curve. Is he going to be able to get himself past Capel? Switch back underneath. He's got himself alongside. Capel's going to have to defend now. Capel is not going to be able to defend this one in the slightest. Klinger needs a decent exit. Should have more speed in that Aston Martin down the straight line. Is it going to happen? They're still side by side as they head towards 130R. And Klinger is ahead. And Aero GT Blue will take 5th place back.
Quite a similar overtake to the one earlier that Klinger did on Capel, actually. Same corner anyway.
It's been coming. I don't think Capel's got any pace in the slightest on this stint from what I've seen so far.
Can you share your screen?
Yes, I can. Hold on a second, let me just share my screen for us.
Can you share your screen?
Oh, Capel just clipping up the AstroTurf on the exit of 1. I'll just extend the gap just a little bit further. I don't really see Capel forcing any sort of issue from Klinger here. Bear in mind, Klinger's on fresh tyres. Capel's maybe a couple of laps away from a pit stop. So it should be Klinger to just drive away from here.
So Klinger lost about 15 seconds then. That's a bit of a shame.
Yeah, it was a spin. Jill pointed it out. I didn't actually see it. To see what happened. Yeah, that is definitely the case.
Well, no damage at least.
Got away with it. Definitely
Got away with it.
1.3.
The only person who's overtaken him is another Aero GT car, to be fair.
Yeah, White has got him and cleared him by a ridiculous margin at this point. It's 34 seconds. That is not recoverable. Not at this point anyway, unless White has to do an extra stop, in which he'll put him pretty much neck and neck.
There's still 54 laps to go.
Yeah, it was quite a mistake though.
Might rain. Also, in Stint 4, Sapper is going to be in that car, in that white Aero GT car. Tier 4 Sapper. I think you might have commentated him a couple of times before. RCR.
Yeah, I'm aware. I also am aware that I have 7 commentaries of his still left in the bank.
So you didn't commentate him then?
Technically, I have done the one. So on a technicality, the answer is yes. I have commentated him. I just haven't commentated the races he actually did well. Not the point.
So what actually happened to Project Platypus in this stint?
Oak died.
I was only kind of half listening at the start. He died.
He died.
Something with a lapped car?
He was having a fun time with lapped cars as well. It was him, Sipe, and I think it was Honda at the time, but he was in the pool before that, and those two even came on. When he came back onto the track is when he joined those two. But he was in the wall on the exit of the S's in the first sector. I'm not entirely
and
sure.
And Keto's lost the lead to Aryan as well.
Yes.
So that swung back. Oh, but it's very close.
Yeah, that's it. It swung on the pit stop, but it's been Keto trying to drag that back since the pit stop at this point. So we are just slowly but surely edging in. Oaks pitting again because he's spamming softs on the 3-hour stint.
Okay, so he's doing the same as what BX did then.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure it's the quickest strategy, to be completely honest with you. From what I'm seeing.
I heavily think it's not a good strategy. And they're obviously the only team that's doing this. Everyone else is just doing
the pit
twice as long on the mediums.
Long-ass pit, though. For the actual length of Suzuka. Like the
I think I heard 17 seconds without fuel.
Yeah, you're not going to.
But obviously they're putting in fuel as well.
Yeah. I say you're not pitting without fuel here. That is not happening unless you have found yourself with damage anyway. I reckon it's somewhere around about the 30-second mark. I think the pit stops. From what I can figure out, it means Oak is back to 2:19 off the lead, so he has now been lapped once again.
So the positions don't actually look too different in the top 8. What's going on further down?
There isn't much difference at all, apart from the fact that V-Crap is now right. Matt is having a really bad stint. He has pit again here. The 42nd off the back of Saif. Honda is ripping Yupper to pieces at the moment.
Yeah, I was expecting Honda to have an amazing stint. I wouldn't be surprised if he finishes in the top 10, even though he's like 50-odd seconds back right now.
I don't know if I'd go that far. He isn't really gaining too much on Digimoss of people, but he is ripping Yupper to shreds.
Stiggy trying to unlap himself against somebody there as well, by the looks of it.
Yeah, White. I might have actually just been lapped more
oh,
likely,
maybe he got lapped, okay.
Yeah, White is in front. They head toward the pit stop at this point in time.
Well, AHR had a great stint too, so Stigimoss trying to carry that on. Towards the end of the last stint, they got into the top 10, and now they're 40 points clear of 11th.
Yeah, Yupper had his mistake, trying to unlap himself from Capel, which did not help him out in the slightest. It gave him about 10 seconds away.
But I think they finished only like 20 or 18 or 16 seconds behind Lost Tracking in 9th, and now they're 38 seconds behind them, so something might have happened.
Yeah, I don't know where the pit stops lie, to be honest with you. They're kind of out of sync. Everyone's kind of out of sync at this point. Everyone has decided to do wildly different things. Wide has got his indicator on now. Silver cars, apparently. They're leaving the indicators on. Anonymous 1.4 ahead of Dummy at the moment as well. So Dummy is flying, trying to catch Anonymous up. Anonymous pit on lap 24. On to another set of mediums, and I think Dummy is still quite decently.
Dummy's having a good stint. Look at those lap times on the mediums. 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes.
Yeah.
All the way through. Most people have been doing 1s and 2s on the mediums.
Well, that's anonymous set of times.
Yeah.
So, directly in front of him, blue flag's coming up. That is the fight for the lead, actually, which we are going to go to. It's 1.1 second. You're being asked what you're munching on.
Oh man, let me recommend you something. So they've started selling them in Tesco's. I'm not sure if they sell them anywhere else. It's called a Kinder Crispy. It is the best Kinder thing that I've ever had in my life. And that's why it's munchy. It's crispy. It's amazing. It's like Rice Crispy, creamy. It's got some wafers in it, chocolate.
Fair enough.
Go and have a look for the Kinder Crispy at Tesco's. This is not a paid sponsored ad, by the way.
Just getting the legal jargon in there, right?
Yeah.
Where we can. Not as.
But if they want to, I mean.
we just get a sponsorship for Kinder Crispy.
That would be amazing. We need. I'll take any sponsorship at this point. We haven't had a sponsor since Blue Dragon, and that was our only sponsor.
We haven't exactly looked. It's not
No,
like we've
we
gone
haven't.
out our way to actually figure out whether or not we get a sponsor or anything. So it's not swings and roundabouts in it. At the end of the day. But as we go along, Keto 1 second behind Iron now, and both of them about 2 minutes 16 clear of Oak, which seems to be roughly about where Oak's going to sit for the rest of this one, which means Perry is going to have to do a lot of work in this wet stint to give Jensen any sort of chance. Jensen doing the final 2 stints, isn't he?
Jensen could easily do it.
Depends who he's going against. I don't know if he
needs to get back on. They need to get him back on the lead lap somehow.
Yeah. Give him 4 hours on a lead lap, and now that would be intriguing. Let's have a look. So we got 2:15 to Oak, 9/10 of a second in the lead at the moment. Out in front, Klinger is 1.9 ahead of Wide after Wide pit. So Wide's gone on to a new set of mediums. 3/4 of a tank, and he's come out 2 seconds behind Klinger. I can't imagine Klinger hung on to that. Well, I think Wide is actually going to have a shot at him in this stint to actually be ahead of Klinger by the end of it. That's going to be interesting. Spin is ahead of Capale, who's not long since pit. So those two will be flip-flopping for the rest of the rest of the stint as well, because they seem to be on alternate strategies to each other.
But Capelle's lap times, look at them. 2 minute 5, 2 minute 3, 2 minute 3, 2 minute 3 for his pit stop.
Not particularly good time in the slightest.
On 1 mediums, you need to be maximum low 2 minute 2s. And that's still not that good. Like, I was setting them and I was like, oh, this is not good pace.
Anonymous is right under fire now. The first time the dummy's gone into the 2 minute 1s since lap 29. He's only done 3 2 minute 1s since the turn of lap 25, almost 10 laps ago. So he's been on a tear on this stint so far as dummy in Lost Track and Racing car.
Honestly, I don't think Lost Tracking have been in the top 8 at all. Like, apart from it on the opening stint, but only because of like people pitting early.
Yeah. So
this is a good stint so far from Dummy.
It's
obviously not a surprise. He's like him and Fak are. He's probably a bit quicker than Fak actually. I think he did qualifying as well, didn't he?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe he did. He should have a real run at Anonyma here. There is the blue flags flying up in the distance as well, so I assume that's probably first and second, trying to fight their way through. Oh, that didn't look great. That looked a little bit sideways there from Dummy into Spoon. Oh, that's sideways! That is definitely sideways! Anonyma is off the track! And there is Iron and Keto, so you're going to have to let them through straight away.
Maybe lost 3 or 4 seconds with that. Yeah, he's 3.5 behind Dummy, and then he's going to have to slow down and let the front 2 past. So, only his second kind of mistake of the race. The first one, I didn't even tell you. He started stint 2, and he put on intermediate tires, and his excuse was that his wheel failed, and then that's what it automatically put him on.
That's one way of putting it, I guess.
Yeah.
That's a new one. I haven't heard that one before. Yeah, he's been going for hours at this point. I'm not too surprised. The mistakes are just starting to creep in a little bit here for Anonymous. And there goes Iron and Keto, still within a second of each other after multiple hours of racing. These two are going to go hammer and tongue to each other for the rest of the night. Rest of the day, rather. Not quite nighttime yet.
Yeah, I don't know how you do, because like it's 7 hours of racing, and then in between you get 15 minutes maximum. But that's like you still have to rejoin the lobby and ready up, and you might want to do, I don't know, you have to set your Aero and maybe do a couple of laps then. I mean, I don't think you probably didn't need to do any laps, but like you don't have time for anything.
If I'm honest,
he must be starving right now.
I think I would rather that just continue, like straight on through 7 hours straight. Yeah,
but what if you need a wee?
Yeah, you're kind of screwed. Pit stop, pray.
Have to start with a nappy on or something.
Sure.
Hey, I've heard gamers do weird things, right?
Yeah, that's fair. Oka's got to within 2 minutes 11, by the way, so he has actually closed in about 4 seconds on the lead.
Yeah, probably because these two have started battling and they've got traffic as well.
He's also on softs, yeah. Again.
But he must be the one that's directly behind them. On track.
Beside Anonymous.
Directly behind Anonymous, yeah. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he is, yeah. Klinger is 3.4 seconds ahead of White now, so that is kind of extended up a little bit. Spin is 6 seconds ahead of Capale. I can't imagine that changing too much at the moment. Anonymous behind Dummy by about 6 seconds as well. Digimos 34th the back of that. Yupper is only 6 seconds, ahead of Honda now. Uh-oh, that's not good news for the Finnish drivers. Eclipse are barreling down, and then the yellow flag! Oh. Who is it? I can't find who it is.
They've got going again, whoever it was. Let's have a look at the gaps. What is it? Scythe? He's 56 seconds off the back of Honda.
It might be Matt.
Go on, Matt.
It might have been Matt.
No one's got damage. But he's a minute off of Scythe now.
Yeah,
and he's 7:27 down. I think he was like 7 minutes down earlier.
He's also the only person within.
And he did a 2:07 lap in the previous lap as well.
Yeah, he's also the only person in the same realm of the track as Yupper and Honda now. So I think it must have been Matt.
They're having a V-crap time.
Yeah, there's one way of putting it. 4.9
So Hulk's
seconds.
disconnected in Stint 1.
Oof.
Yeah, then they had Brum, who was did all right, but he still had maximum wait time in Stint 2. And now they're definitely going to get to the maximum wait time for Stint 3.
Yeah, certainly at this rate anyway. Looks like Wide is about 3 seconds, actually under 3 seconds to Klinger now, and Capale has found a second on Spin. So that's kind of starting to swing the other way. Iron is very, well, he's just managing the advantage to Keto at the moment. I think. Just that second gap. He hasn't really lost much. He hasn't really gained much. So these two are going to go back and forth, I reckon.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. I don't know who's in the car for the rest of the for the rest of the time for Iron's team. I know Astro and Matty.
I could tell you.
Are still up and running for Aero GT.
So Mattheology is going to race. Throttle was signed up, but I don't think he's going to race. He does Tier 2 Throttle. And someone that I think he only raced like once or twice in Tier 4 in ALR called Kajka or Kaika.
Ah, yeah.
He's doing the wet stint. But I think he's a bit quicker than where we placed him when he joined.
Yeah.
I think he was the guy that Ahmed posted in GT General, like, what the fuck were you doing down there kind of situation. So we'll see. I think he's, well, actually, Let me find what Epsilon actually said, because I asked him about this team, because I was like, what is this team? Tell me about it. And he was basically like, yeah, we're all just mates. And well, he asked all the fast people, and they all said yes, which he was a bit surprised with. And then he said, their weakest but still super skilled driver, Kajka, will hopefully manage the gap before passing on to Matteo. Aim is the podium, we believe in it.
Well, they might be aiming for a little bit more than that now. Given the fact that Iron's got them in control of this one. Up to this point.
So I think Mattheo's doing the last two, and Kajka's going to do the wet stint. But obviously they don't know what the wet weather slots are going to be. I've rolled them, obviously, and I know what they are.
That's going to be interesting. I don't even know what they are yet.
Yeah, and people have been asking me because they think it's like Monday League, where we give it in advance. And no one, literally nobody is going to know until I put the lobby up what the stints are going to be. So it's going to be interesting. That's all I'll say with what ended up getting rolled.
You're just going to be bouncing between 5 and 8 constantly.
That's what I'd be doing if I was rigging it.
Bounce, wet, and it's wet, and it's wet.
Yeah.
Oak is closing in fairly rapidly again. He's now 2-9 until we actually turned him and he's in the grass. He was in the grass. That's not a good sign. 2-0-1 on that one. An entire second and a half quicker than Keto, for reference. Yeah,
Keto's in that graining phase and Iron with how worn their tyres are, though.
Yeah. It's interesting, because Oak is going to get himself in position to potentially unlap himself sooner rather than later.
Really, Oak needs to be aiming for sub 2 minutes for the rest of the stint, essentially.
Yeah,
but the top three don't have the insane pace that the leaders in the first two stints had. I mean, I did see that Spin had the fastest lap for a while. I was like, what the hell's going on here? Yeah,
admittedly, the top three, Oak is the only car with any sort of trip onto the soft tyre. No one else has been on there yet. So Iron and Keto have both done the long game kind of strategy with the medium tyres. Iron pit on lap 20, Keto pit on lap 24, so Keto should be able to go a little bit longer here, and then Iron will have to figure it out in the next lap or so.
Yeah.
By the looks of things, Oak 2.8 now, Klinger 58 seconds off the back of Oak, 2.1 ahead of Wide, who is not really doing as much damage as they thought he would to Klinger on this stint, admittedly.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this shakes out, because they're on completely different strategies.
And then you've got Capale has managed to get his gap from 7 seconds all the way down to 3.9, so he's somewhat figured it out, I guess, if figuring it out against Spin classified as figure it out.
Yeah.
And you can see slowly but surely getting there. 2:02 on the last lap, however, is going to start hampering him. Anonymous is back ahead of Dummy. Dummy has pit on the last lap or so. On two soft.
Fresh soft, he's going to absolutely obliterate his previous fastest lap. So this must be his first soft stint.
And then you've got Stigimos 15 seconds off the back of that. Honden is actually ahead of Yupper now, but that is a 31-second gap after the pit stop on the last lap for Yupper.
Yeah, Honden just dipping into the twos for the first time in that previous lap.
So 59.5 for
59.5 for Bummy, yeah. Not too far away from his qualifying time, I don't think. I think he was in a low 59.
I'd about to say there was a lot of teams around that the high 58, low 58, 59 mark when we did qualify on Wednesday.
Let me find out what the quality times were.
We obviously then just had, 2 or 3 57s because reasons.
Yeah, he actually set a 58.7 in qualifying, Dummy.
He is currently going quicker than his 59.5 at the moment as well, so he is slowly putting the times in.
Honden was 2:10 back in quali.
There's a yellow flag. Who is it? It's not Anonymous. The car in between them, but I don't know who the car in between them is.
That was Oak.
Oh, it is! It is Oak. He's lost another, 8 seconds all over again. No damage. But it is a yellow flag against Oak, so more time bleeding away for Project Platypus. Imagine Jensen's the happiest person in the world about that. I can't imagine
Yeah,
Perry will be too happy either.
we'll have to see what the sector times end up looking at. But this is the problem when you're doing only soft running. You're pushing 100% of the time, but his tyres are over 50% worn, which means they are sliding all over the place. This is the problem I found with the softs. That's why I only did 8 laps on my softs and then went for mediums for my whole stint. He's lost 10 seconds here.
Yep, there's definitely spam then. Definitely the yellow flag. That is gonna suck because he was just starting to close into the into position to unlap himself all over again.
Yeah, so that was either the Degners or the hairpin that he did that.
I think it was the second of the Degners. It was in between the active Degner and the hairpin. Almost in a similar fashion to what we saw Yupa did actually, by the looks of things.
Man, he must be so frustrated because he's not even halfway through the stint yet. And the mistakes have crept in. He's made like, what, 3 or 4 mistakes by this point, and he's still got to go for another hour and a half.
Yeah.
You can't give up. You can't be like, oh, I just need someone else to jump in now. I've lost my head.
No, you kind of just attributed yourself to 3 hours. They got someone in that party for Project Platypus has got to get to him and get his head back in the game because he is slowly but surely bleeding away any chance of winning. That's a certain. Iron and Keto have been joined at the hip for the last 7 laps. Quite literally joined at the hip. They I don't actually remember the last time they weren't a second from each other.
Yeah.
Hurricane's asking how Klinger is 4th after it took him 3 to 5 business days to get started. Oh yeah, by the way, Klinger definitely didn't botch the start.
Yeah, no, I saw mainly Whack claiming that my team were cheating. And then he overcompensated so much that he allowed Capel to overtake him and then still overtook Capel twice in this race. And now he's like 7 billion seconds ahead of him again. So not bad for a tier 3 driver who took over from a tier 3 driver who took over from a tier 3 driver compared to Queen's Head, who currently have a tier 1 driver. Mortal, who is in tier 2 but really should be in tier 1, and then Viking, who's won how many tier 1 titles, and we're just beating them. So I don't know. I think Queen's Head are underperforming personally.
I also think Queen's Head got the car choice wrong. Flat out got the car choice wrong. Iron's into the pits now then, so we finally will get a situation in this race where they're not going to be a second away from each other.
Yeah, Iron going for a bit of an undercut to try and maybe create a gap, but I feel like Keto was just chilling behind him. He probably could have gone for a move there if he was just stuck within 1 second for that whole stint.
We're about to find out because he is, last 2 laps, 2-0 and a 2-2. Well, if he goes quicker than that, then we'll figure out that he might have had some more pace and was just trying to fuel save or chill behind Iron. If he doesn't, then he might be in a little bit of trouble trying to stop Iron here. Is he Matt Debater?
Yeah, he's got 34 seconds on him right now.
Background. Yep, 30 seconds off the back of Honda, and that gap should continue to close. Honda's not that far away from a pit stop zone.
Yeah, Honda lapping pretty similar to what Iron was doing before he came into the pits as well. Stiggy Moss maybe between... well, a couple of tenths and half a second slower than Honda by the looks of things.
Yeah, I don't think
so. There is an outside chance that Honda can. Well, he should close the gap before the end. Maybe he can't catch the top 10.
I reckon if he can get to 30 seconds, I reckon Honda will be happy with that.
Yeah, although I think it'll probably be more than that. I mean, less than that by the end. Something will happen to someone else in the top 10 between now and then as well. So Spin's in now.
Yep, Spin's in the pits. Capel's going to go by. So Capel is in 6th place at this point in time. Anonymous is next up. Wide is on the back of Klinger now. Wide is on the back of Klinger, and these two have, in their alternate strategies, are effectively found themselves in the same place.
Two Scandinavians for Aero GT. I don't think there's a party up for Aero right now, so they're not talking to each other.
No,
so this will be interesting to see how this ends up working.
They have a 40-second advantage to the next car up. Spin is out the pits on the medium tires with a full tank, and he is going to come out behind Lost Track and Racing, so he's down into ninth this spin. Oh, maybe not! Maybe not! And Dummy has put it on the AstroTurf at turn 1 after putting in some electric laps with the 59.4. He has got it wrong quite heavily at turn 1.
After all that work to get into the top 8, and then as soon as you get into it, you straight off, just start off the road.
You've got to do it all over again.
Oh, man. And now he's got to overtake Spin on track, and Spin's got fresh tyres now. So Spin's loving life.
Yeah, I cannot imagine that the same can be said right now for Dummy, because I think if he had said that he was enjoying life about 30 seconds ago, I'd probably have agreed with you. Certainly isn't now. We'll see how he's going to respond to that mistake. But I did tell you, though, we'll get into that halfway point, and then you'll start seeing, in that second set of 90 minutes, you'll start seeing the mistakes creep in just a little bit more, because people are just going to be naturally fatigued.
Yeah, definitely. Easy to do. Just a slight distraction, or if you're in a party chat and you're talking about random crap, that can be distracting. Trocker was asking me about rules in the middle of my stint when I was in Sector 1. I was like, just hold on. I can't do two things at once.
Incredible. He's doing a best Perry impression.
Basically, yeah. Luckily, I didn't spin or anything, so...
White is really going after Klinger right now. The half second between the two of them. I have a funny feeling White's going to be setting up for a move sooner rather than later.
Yeah, equal cars, though. Probably equal aero downforce on the cars as well. Oak in the pits again. I feel like he's pit 3 times since I just joined the stream.
He's been pitting every chance he's got. Imagine that it's not going to be too productive for him, to be honest with you. Apparently, Verstappen's about to win the NLS race by a minute.
I mean, not really a surprise.
Yeah, no one's surprised.
He's probably spent a lot more time practicing for that than he has for his Formula 1 races.
There you go. Klinger's still 4/10 of a second here. Oak is back out the pits. He is 2 minutes and 44, or what will be 44 seconds down off the lead. That is not good news for Oak and for Project Platypus, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's approaching a lap and a half.
I don't think, even with Jensen giving him multiple hours of time, I don't think that's really realistically chaseable, honestly.
Do you know what the problem is as well with doing this strategy, just spamming the softs, is you lose time lapping somebody, then you pit to put on more soft tyres, then you have to lap them a second time and you lose even more time that way.
Yeah. As he was about to find out, it's Digimos here. He's going to have to get one hell of an exit. Digimos getting out of the way.
Jesus.
Almost had turned into a racing fight there down towards the hairpin. Oak is ahead. 2:42 to the lead then. He's got to find a way to stop making the mistakes and just hammer out some lap time, because he is, well, pitting about 1,000 times more than anybody else. Obviously, the damage early on did not help him in the slightest with that regard. Iron is 31 seconds off the back of Keto, but we know Keto is maybe a lap or two away from coming in himself. He did 24 on the first stint. Would not be surprised if he comes in on lap 48 to match the 24 on the second stint. He could easily be doing 24, 24, 24, 12 here, Keto.
Yeah. 24, I mean, 24 is the maximum you can get out of, that's what I got out of my tank on the first stint. With a tiny bit of fuel saving advantage. But to be honest, after lap 20 on the mediums, your tyres absolutely suck.
They suck. Well, they may suck, but at the same time, I'm trying to figure out what the equivalent would be for Iron, because Iron's done 20 and then 20, so I think Keto might actually be potentially a pit stop up. Because you can't.
Has Keto done the softs?
No, he hasn't. He's going to do 24, 24, 24, 12, 100%. No doubt about it. He's going to pit on lap 72 from here, I think.
Makes sense. 12 on the softs is brutal as well. Anything after lap 8, it just goes downhill quickly.
I feel like it would make sense if he's doing the 24 on the mediums. I think he's kind of committed to it. Unless he's cutting the third stint short and then doing two sets of 8s on the softs, maybe. I don't see how that would be advantageous in the slightest. Because that would be a long pit stop for no reason.
Yeah. We'll have to see. No sign of any weather change yet.
Nope. So bone dry. Absolutely bone dry.
Yeah, bone dry.
It's going to be made up for the next stint as well, but that's not the point. Oak is only 27 seconds ahead of Wide right now, by the way, with the God knows how many pit stops. So it's actually Wide ahead of Klinger as well. Wide has got past Klinger up in the 4th. Wide has got past Klinger, so Klinger down into 5th then.
Yeah, but Klinger's probably coming in the next few laps, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's in a very similar boat to the one that Kito's in, given the fact they both pit roughly the same time on their first stints. So I wouldn't be surprised if Klinger's going to try and do something similar as well to that kind of strategy. I don't know what Wide's going to do. I don't know what the plan there is. Capel 40 seconds off of Klinger and 26 ahead of Anonyma right now. Dummy has got back ahead of Spin, by the way. Spin has not had the greatest time since going on to those medium tires.
Dummy's on the softs, right, isn't he?
Yeah, the tire difference has helped him out.
But he's already shredding them as well.
The question is he going to be able to get to Anonyma before they fall off the edge of that cliff? I think that's the interesting scenario.
Well, he came in, lap 36, and it's lap 45 now. Is that right?
Yeah.
Lap 37, lap 36. So he's probably going to pit before he catches Anonyma.
It'll be close. It will definitely be close. Iron is catching up to Keto right now. Keto's times are ever so slightly quicker since the pit, by the way, since Iron's pit. Don't really
back
think
in the 201s on tyres that are that worn is pretty impressive, to be honest.
I also don't think he was just chilling behind Iron. I think that was pretty much his pace.
Yeah.
I don't think Iron was holding him up in any way, shape, or form.
How would he crap do?
You don't want to look. Copy and paste everything we said about VG on the last stint and apply it to V-Crap here, and you've probably got the same result. But we'll have a look. There's the 114 off the back, 821 at the moment, so you'll be starting at max stint length behind on stint 4 in the west.
The max starting time is 8 minutes 30, and he's 8 seconds away from that now. He should be the only person, hopefully, that starts in the max stint, though. Well, apart from VZ, because if they come back, hopefully they do. Because Sky, what size lap time's looking like? So he's new to ALR. His fastest lap is a 2:08.
He's on the softs.
He's on the softs. We put him in tier 4, but like people, I'm just trying to see if he's worth a punt on the predictors. To be honest, that's why I'm asking. He seems to have done pretty consistently. Looking at those lap times, 2 minutes and 2-minute ones. I'm assuming that was a soft stint that he was on previously. A really short soft stint.
Yeah.
From lap 36 to lap 43.
All right. Let's see.
This is a slow lap from him, though.
Yeah. Capel also fighting Honda again.
Again?
These two have been fighting each other left, right, and centre so far this race, even though they are literally a lap apart. Quite literally. To the dot.
A little bit of contact by the looks of things, and Capel lets him through.
Yeah. Looked like it was just trying to unlap himself. Honda doing a good job of trying to hang with. But,
yeah, he's over a minute now behind Stiggy, but does Stiggy have to come in?
Yes.
Yeah,
pretty much immediately.
Yeah.
That's going to be an imminent pit stop there for Stiggy, so he's going to sort himself out, and I'll be back to about, 35 seconds-ish again. Maybe a little bit more than that. Keto into the pits. I told you it would be about on the end of lap 48.
Yeah, so Iron's almost guaranteed to get ahead, unless Keto goes for a really short soft stint next. Then he could keep the lead. That's the only way I think he keeps it.
I just don't understand why he would. You know you've got to do 12 on the softs at some point, unless you're doing 2 sets of soft stints. This has got to be
If
another
it's me,
medium.
I'm just doing the softs at the end because
Yeah.
if it rains, it's better to like not catch yourself having done an extra pit stop to everyone else because you put on the softs earlier. There's Arjen already through.
Blasted by.
Yeah,
He's
Keto's
ahead.
going to pretty much 100% fuel.
He's ahead, and he's ahead by a long way. Bear in
But
mind, Keto had
Tyre
a
delta's going to be in Keto's favour now.
Yeah, it will be. The question, the thing is, right? So Iron now needs to build a gap, realistically, because I'm almost certain he's on an extra stop. Klinger into the pits now as well. So,
Okay, I wonder how far ahead is Klinger on Capel? Because are they going to have another battle? Probably not.
No. Klinger will be out 10 seconds potentially clear.
Capel might be in anyway.
Yeah. That might be the case.
And how's Spin doing compared to Dummy? Because Spin is... So Dummy's come in for another pit, and he's come out on the mediums. He's now behind Stiggy Moss by 4 seconds.
I'm not so sure I know why he's done that, to be honest with you.
He did a short soft stint.
Interesting choice. But even if he goes maybe like 20 odd laps, it'll put him into right at the end of toward the 70 mark.
But this is what I mean. Now he's out of position now. So if it started raining like next lap, he's an extra pit stop behind everybody else because he's decided to do his soft stint a lot earlier.
Yeah. Yep, no, you're all right. Unfortunately for that line of thinking, the sky actually has to turn to a different colour
That's the
first.
thing, yeah. You're taking a risk, but if you're looking at the sky, you're thinking it's not happening anytime soon.
I don't think the sky has actually changed, has it?
It has. There's a couple of extra clouds in the sky than there was earlier.
It's been an hour and 41. I don't think it changed though.
Anonymous in as well.
And
I'm assuming Stiggy will be in as well soon
yeah,
as well.
He's all about out of fuel.
Ooh, is he? He does have enough fuel though. He was probably on 0 exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So good recovery from AHR. These last 2 stints. To be fair, they finished the first stint. I need to find the information.
So the question now sits
just over 3 minutes behind. They finished the first stint. Oh. So I'm assuming that like they hit a wall or had to change for damage.
They've plugged the damage.
After the first stint.
They've stopped the bleeding or stemmed the bleeding since the first stint. Now.
Yeah, Stevie did the first stint, and they were literally just over 3 minutes behind.
Right, here's a good question.
Then, go on.
How far is Honda going to be back off Stigi? Because Stigi is out on softs now. And it doesn't look like the pit stop was a long time at all, so Honda's going to have to find himself a little bit of space. Preferably
well, he needs
not
to get
past
Capel first.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did he fall back behind Capel again?
Pits, I assume.
I mean, his last lap was a 2 minute 6.
There you go. Pits is about saying he's about to be.
So now he's what? He's 48, 46. So let's say he's about 40 behind.
Might be a little bit less than that.
Yeah, bloody hell.
He might be looking more to the 35 mark than the 40 mark. I think he'll take that because we said it might have been about 30 seconds.
He wants to be within
yeah.
30 seconds. He's only 7 seconds behind right now.
I think he would take that. He'd well and truly take that. He hasn't lost any time whatsoever off the lead.
He should be 30 seconds behind Stiggy Moss because look at lap 46, a 2 minute 6 that he set. So obviously he got past Capel. Then we went and looked at other stuff, and he must have made a mistake or something, and he dropped behind Capel again.
I would also like to point out that Hunden has actually gained 4 seconds on the lead this stint.
He has less fuel in, so I'm guessing he's out of sequence in pit stops.
Potentially, but as of right now, that 5:25, he would probably enjoy some rain.
Yes. Or just some clear air, because every time we've seen him, he's been trying to unlap himself. He's only 5 seconds ahead of Jupe as well.
Well, yeah, he's managed to get... Well, Being ahead of Yupper in this stint is a win, I think, in Honda's
Yupper.
book.
I call him Jupe.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's I'm pretty sure it's the almost silent J kind of.
Well, at least I'm saying Iron correctly.
Yeah. Alright, what's going on elsewhere? Bummy's ahead of Anonymous, 2.7 seconds.
Both of them on fresh tyres. So
that's
good for Bummy. He's got ahead of Anonymous on merit now. Started 10th, he's up to 8th on actual pace. So not 8th, he started 9th, he's up to 8th on actual pace.
Yeah, and Capel's going to have to overtake Spin on track here with better tyres for Capel. It shouldn't be too much of a challenge.
Spin dropping back.
We'll see. Capel's actually not actually.
Oh, Capel's just come out the pits, that's why.
Yeah, yeah. Klinger 36 seconds off the back of Wide. Now, Wide's going to have to pit in a short period of time. I don't
Klinger will get ahead of him again, I reckon.
Oh, Stingy Moss is down! Well, talking about being 30 seconds off the back of
who's in 10th now? I need to make a note of this. Honden. So it's going to be Honden, and Honden's on lap 49. And what lap is Iron on right now?
Iron is on 52. Literally just started 52, 5 seconds up 52. On Kita.
So 34 laps. And it's going to be Honden's finishing time.
He just lapped Oak again.
Yeah, so Oak wasn't a lap down, and now he's a lap down again.
Yeah.
So yeah, so there'll be 34 laps times 3.6 plus whatever Honden's gap is at the end is where they will be starting. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, that's gonna suck. I guess they're now cheering on Honda to figure it out.
Yeah.
They're going to cheer on Honda to try and get as close as he can. Because he's putting a fucking shift in this. Honestly, one of the quicker drivers on the track right now. Blue flags are kicking in for Oak, but that is to Keto, I assume. As Oak tries to unlap himself from the lead of the race. And Oak looking to put himself back on the first lap, and has done. Overtakes Iron and got himself back onto the lead lap.
Interesting. The plot thickens.
It does. Unfortunately, I think Oak is at least 2 pit stops longer than the rest of the crew.
Yeah, he's going to come in a lot sooner than Iron and just get lapped all over again. It looks like VEZ won't be taking part for the rest of the day as well.
That second stint haunted them that much.
I think they're traumatized.
It's rather unfortunate. I think if Wax listening, or BX, either or, try and see if they would be down to do their eSports qualifying in its place.
Oh, but do you think that's why they backed out?
No. They've been struggling to find a time to do it, but now that this was one of the reasons they cited. Now that they freed up 7 hours. Well,
so you might as well talk a little bit about eSports then. Who's joining and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so eSports just starting their pre-qualifying actually this week. So we've had a few teams join, a few teams run theirs already. We've got 7 doing that tomorrow and a couple actually doing that as we speak. I know INF just finished their qualifying up recently. But in terms of teams that have actually joined, we've got some really good teams this season, and there was a suspicion among the eSports output that the guys that were at the top of last season eSports, those who were watching, were going to be in split 2. So that gives you an idea of the competition. Sim3 have brought 3 different teams to the table.
Explain who Sim3 are, because people won't know.
For those who aren't too ideal in the eSports series system. Sim3 used to be outplayed. Those guys are massive in the eSports system. And, well, I think the best way of putting it, the known one of their drivers, I believe, is Gallo. They hadn't done laps here, but I know he's on their roster. So, going forward, so that's the kind of level of that team. Distinct has
and they're
joined as
entering
well.
3 cars as well.
Yeah.
And do you think all 3 of the teams are like top?
From what we're aware of, one of them is.
Okay.
One of them is potentially one of the quicker we'll see all season. The second one that we saw them do the laps, no, maybe not so much.
So you think they've got like an A team, a B team, C team kind of thing?
It becomes apparent in that manner, yes.
Okay.
Distinct has joined as well. For those that are in the server, you'll know Platt very well.
We've had a lot of Distinct drivers over time. Dino is a Distinct driver right now. We had Marco who won Tier 1. He was a Distinct driver for a while. I think there's been some others, to be honest, but I can't remember off the top of my head. So yeah, nice to see that the actual team has joined.
Yeah, Inferno have joined back as well. They're good friends of the server.
They won the Spa 12 hours.
They've brought a little bit more firepower with them this time. That's what I've established anyway. So they might be up toward the top as well. So we've got a few new teams. The next season of eSports is looking very, very, very interesting. First time we actually hit 20 teams as well, and already had a couple of teams say they'll be interested going forward. NRG for season 10, Catfish for those who are familiar with him. Looks to be led by them. Looks to lead them into ALR next season. So we are eSports in a very good place. I am enjoying where eSports is at the moment, I'll admit. Also we're doing races like this, and we've got a lot of good things on in the server. A lot of good things on in the server right now.
Yeah, so we're actually going to have 2 tiers next season in eSports. That's what pre-qualifying is going to settle. So all these really quick teams that are coming in are going to push down teams like VCrap, teams like Queen's Head probably, even maybe some of the top guys from last season who qualified in the top 5 might end up being pushed down into Tier 2. So we're going to have 4 lobbies of racing every Sunday now.
Yeah.
A lobby A and a lobby B in Tier 1 and a lobby A and a lobby B in Tier 2. So pretty exciting stuff that there's going to be 60 drivers every weekend across 20 teams. I think there's actually 21 teams signed up. Is that still true?
Yes, 21 has signed up. There is a couple that we are waiting for times for their pre-qualifying system, as we just see Matt Debate getting lapped by Oak here. Iron still 2.4 ahead of Keto. But yeah, they are the 21 teams. One team will unfortunately miss out altogether. But as for someone just asked in the chat, they can have a sneak peek in the qualifying order. I think the sneak peek would be when I said that the 4 teams that were top 5, obviously NWR not included, they auto qualify for Stint 1 by default by winning season 8. The other 4 teams that were in that top 5 that we were watching at the end of last season have not particularly started qualifying well in the slightest. I'll say that much.
Yeah, when we found out that there was going to be like 2 tiers, I was thinking, oh great, there's not going to be any aliens in Tier 2 then. But
that might not be true.
aliens have been replaced by hyper aliens apparently.
Well, I won't spoil the teams, but I'll give roughly where the best times sit for those that are aware.
Yeah, what's the best average time to give people a bit of an idea?
The best kind of times that I've seen, I'm not going average, but the best time I've seen set is a 38.5.
38.5.
Just a heads up. I don't think I could be wrong with that, but if I am wrong with that, I assume BX or WAC will correct me in due course.
This is at Catalonia, by the way, without the chicane.
Yeah.
With downforce, without fuel, without tyres.
Pretty much in the same.
So basically time trial with bop on.
Yeah, same sentence as this, but without the tyre and fuel wear. well, admittedly, the settings of this was based off of eSports in the first place. So, you know.
Yes.
You know, it's very similar to the racing you'll see here. It's a fun time. Irons on medium tires, by the way, to the person who asked that in the chat. Keto 1.5 off the back of him. He's having a fairly decent stint trying to hunt him down.
Very nicely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oak is 2 minutes to the dot, so he unlapped himself and has actually kept himself unlapped to the moment, even though the blue flags are starting to wave like they're going out of fashion. Wide is 1 minute off the back of Oak, but 8 seconds ahead of Klinger, and Klinger is not fighting wide at this point.
No, lapping solidly though. In the mid 01s to the low 02s, he has a 1.6 there, so that was pretty decent. Still lapping quicker than Capel, and Capel is ahead of Spin. Yeah. Was he behind? I'm pretty sure he was behind Spin before.
Yeah, he was, yeah. Spin still has an indicator on. But yeah, Capel about 3/10 of a second a lap at the moment quicker. I would like to point out that it has got very dull.
Oh, see? Let's go. Come on, let's get some rain.
It has got very, very dull very quickly. Let me go through, then...
Someone asks whoever's racing to check the weather radar.
Yeah.
Because this could just be some fog. This is what it looked like in my stint, and I was like, oh, is it coming? But then there was nothing on the weather radar. Oaken, again, for the 500th time.
Yeah. So Bummy the head of Anonymous by 11 seconds. What has happened to... Oh, he's pit. I was about to ask what has happened to Honda for a second there. He's pit, so Yupper's back into 10th at the moment. Siphon 11th, 135 back of Honda. There's no real gain on either side from 12 or 13 at the moment. They have managed to keep it under that 8 minutes 30 though, up to this point. And the clock is starting to tick.
It would be nice if everyone finished within the 8 minutes 30. I think for the next race though, I think I need to increase the max time, because it's quite early on for so many people to be hitting it. Like Stint 1, 3 people hit the max time of 3 minutes, so maybe 3 minutes is too low.
3 minutes off of the first stint.
An hour and a half.
Yeah, I don't know if that's too low. I just think there's just a signifying.
I didn't think it was too low, but I think the pace difference. Oh, I don't know. The 3 people that hit the max time.
I'm having a bit of a problem. Keto's right there. Sorry for the interruption. Keto is right there. 3/10 of a second now. Split the two of them as they go down towards Spoon Curve on lap 57. I really don't know if Ryan's got the muster to hold on to this, you know?
Has he got the mayonnaise?
For fuck's sake.
What? That's what they eat in Holland.
Here we go. Keto on the outside. The Italian going straight after the Dutchman. It's gonna go. They're gonna come together in some description here. Iron is still ahead. They headed to the chicane. In the final couple of corners of the lap, Iron is still keeping his car as central as he can to hold Keto at bay. Done a very good job of it. If we can get a good camera angle at some point, it would be nice. They go down towards turn 1 now, down the home straight.
Yes, Jack.
Yeah, they are. Keto looking to the inside. That's interesting. I thought he was going to go to the outside for a second. He's gone for it. He got in front. I'm surprised I didn't try and close him in when it came to that outside, to the inside slot down the home straight there.
Yeah, he definitely left the door open. Just a little bit. Maybe he thought he had it covered off enough, but Keto just sent it, and now Keto's got a great chance to start building a gap again. And with the fresher tyres, and Keto maybe with some rain coming.
Stop. Yeah, I was about to say, we know that Keto's probably got the one stop left. Iron probably has to go too, to be honest with you. Because he's only done 20 on both the first 2 stints.
You can tell Keto's just driving away from him now as well. You can even see the gaps like increasing with every corner. So it's looking good for Aero GT Purple at this point.
That didn't look great. A little bit of the grass on the
XC. It was fine. It's not big dramatic.
Just about. You don't want to be braking and then seeing dirt fly up. I feel like objectively not what you want to see. Maybe I'm wrong, but traditionally you don't break.
He
in a
knows
straight
what he's
line.
doing.
You break on dirt. I'll tell you that much. I feel like that's probably the best way to go rallying rather than anything else.
The thing is, though, all this hard work that everyone's doing is probably, for at least 3 or 4 of these cars, going to come completely undone in the wet stint.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Because what we saw in the wet stint in Spa, because obviously we didn't have one in Daytona, Inferno were pretty close to 1 or 2 other cars going into the wet stint. They came out of the wet stint with like a 30-second or a minute lead. It was huge that they managed to build up.
Yeah.
Mainly because they pit less than a lot of the other drivers and they were on the right tyres at the right time, and they just had really good wet pace, which other drivers didn't seem to have. So that's what I'm half expecting to see. And then we saw some drivers just completely shoot themselves in the foot. They were in the wall, they were getting damage all over the place, they were just getting stuck behind other cars, they were pitting 700 times in the stint because they wanted to be on the right tyre, and it ended up being the wrong tyre by the end of the lap that they pit on. So
yeah, it's just gonna be a mess. The wet stint is a lottery.
It's the best
Let's be honest.
And then you started your hour-long stint after that,
and that rain was not fun.
It was raining then as well.
It was that rain, but it was the rain where if you started on wet tires, you lose. So it's not like the rain where you could get away with it either.
Yeah.
So you
we've seen maybe like 2 minutes of rain in total in this race so far, and it's caused a lot of havoc. It gave Scotty damage twice, somehow.
Fair. Honestly, Kito's on.
We had Anonymous starting on the inters when it was dry, and then not being on the inters when it rained.
That's one way of getting it wrong. Sife's now 8 minutes up. Why is Sife
Has he just pit?
I think, yeah, he has. Don't know why that puts him 2 minutes 23 off the back of Yupper, though. I don't
maybe
know how it's
because of the pit stops, the time hasn't updated.
Yeah, maybe. Honden's back ahead of Yupper at 15 seconds. That advantage now. Is this gonna get
Honden 1 minute 26 off the back of Anonymous as well.
Yeah.
So okay, here's the next gap that we have to think. How far back will Honden be from Anonymous at the end? Do you think he can get it to within a minute?
If he can, that would be about as best of a stint as he could possibly have hoped for. I don't really see that being that feasible, if I'm honest with you. But I don't actually know where the strategy lies.
All he has to be is a second a lap quicker.
Also has to be on the relevant strategy.
And he's on brand new tyres, so he must have just come in. Yeah, 4 laps ago. Anonymous, when did he come in?
7 from the end.
So he might have to pit for softs at the end.
Yeah, Anonymous not about halfway through his stint.
Anonymous going to have to pit for mediums. I think it could be within a minute. He's just taken out 2 seconds from Anonymous since we started talking about it.
Gonna be interesting. I think it's interesting. If they both still have 1 pit each, I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. If Anonymous has to pit multiple times, then we might be in a position where Honden will certainly be within 1 minute. That's the kind of thing you're dealing with.
And the better that Honden does, the better AHR do.
Yeah.
Because their fate is tied to this driver now.
Yeah.
Until the next stint starts.
And obviously, the other driver's not going to take a dive because they want to be in the best place they can be. So it's going to be fairly interesting to see the plan here. It's going to be interesting to see how close to Yupper they start. Spins being blue flagged. The real question is, who's he being blue? Oh, it's Keto. With only 1.3 seconds ahead of Iron at the moment. That gap has not really extended, has it? Iron's
I think he's probably just trying to drive safely now. They're on lap 61 already. 2 hours, we're over the 2 hour mark.
We know Keto's still got about 11 laps worth of the stint left. Realistically, going to about the 72 mark. Otherwise, he's going to have to do 2 sets of softs, in which then he genuinely is fighting Iron for position.
Mm-hmm.
I reckon Iron will take having a 15-second advantage close to to like 1.5 on the stint. I think he would take that. Digimos just in the chat. Yeah, we didn't think you'd be watching this stint either, admittedly. What actually happens, did you? Through. Keto's still up.
He's extending now.
Yeah,
well, Iron still has to put a lap on Spin, so this is probably going to help him out a little bit more.
It's going to be interesting. Oak is now 224 off the back of Iron again. Because Oak just got the strategy wrong. They've pitted so many more times than that was necessary. Oh, that didn't look good either on the exit of the second Degner.
I've seen a lot of people do that, but they've all gotten away with it that I've noticed. Although there has been a lot of spins at that second Degner. I think it's the first Degner that gets people because they try and cut the entry too much and it just unsettles the car and spins it from its tail. Internet went down. That's unfortunate.
Keep your power cut over there, Stigi.
it's the one thing that the F1 game does better.
The rejoining.
If the internet comes down, you can still rejoin the lobby. Yeah. I don't know why you can't rejoin it on GT. That's like the worst thing. One of the worst things about GT is that once you're out, you're out.
Yeah, I'm about to say that there's 2 things that the F1 thing does better, and that's the being able to rejoin, and then also the spectator slot.
Yes, we need a spectator slot. And 20 car grids as well.
I can live with 16 if the spectator slot exists.
True.
Because then we can have spectators outside and just have the 16 car grid as well. I can live with that. But the fact that if you're going to do any commentary for it, you actively have to take a spot. It's not fun.
It's stupid, yeah.
Wide is 12 seconds ahead of Kling at the moment. Capel 5 seconds ahead of Spin. Bummy is starting to catch Spin up. That quite a rapid rate actually, about 2.1 seconds a lap at the moment.
Yeah, he's on an absolute charge on this stint, Bummy. Bummy, Dummy. Why has he got 2 names, Bummy and Dummy?
I don't know. His Discord starts with a D, his GT name starts with a B. I don't know which one it is meant to be or which one thing, but for YouTube purposes, I'm using the one with a D.
Yeah, he's completely left Anonymous though. 19 seconds down.
Yeah, Anonymous got to figure something. Anonymous in his own little world at the moment.
He is. What's Anonymous' left times looking like? I want to know. I'm wondering if he's just like fatigued.
Well, yeah, I think he would be fatigued, to be honest with you. I feel like doing 7 hours of driving probably does that to a person. Given the fact that we're not actually in the 7th, we're actually technically in the 7th hour. Just started. What, 24 laps to the end from here.
See, if it was just me and one other driver for the team,
I would be.
I think I would want. Would you want to do back to back like this, or would you want like the gaps?
I would.
I want the gaps.
I don't want it every day of the week. There would be no way in hell I'd do 7 hours straight. I love racing, not that much.
Honestly, it's tiring just commentating all of this, let alone racing non-stop for all of it. Like, not too bad though. 2.2. It's obviously not the best, but considering the car he's in, I think he's doing all right. Considering it is the 7th hour to still be doing that. Yeah. He's probably just racing completely on autopilot right now.
He's probably been racing on autopilot for a long time.
Yeah.
I honestly, you got to remember that this started at 9 o'clock in the morning UK, so it started at 10 o'clock in the morning his time. He's been going. He was busy after 5, so he chose to do the first 3 stints.
What the hell is he gonna do tonight? Like, he's not gonna be up for anything.
What could he possibly be doing where he had to function? He's started at 10 Polish time, and then had to keep going. He does 7 hours. It'll be 5 o'clock his time by the time we finish. That would be an absolute insanity, realistically, to then go and do something else on top of that. We just had another team's qualifying finish. Sheesh.
Fast? Slow? Tell me in DMs. Who was it as well?
Team R&R, the second team for Revolution, Renovation, whatever they're called. Second one. Yeah, he was mad. He is mad. Spins in the pits, irons in the pits.
So Iron coming in at the same time as Spin. He's probably going to jump him at the pits because he had way more fuel. But I did notice that he couldn't overtake Spin, and he wasn't actually that close to him. So he lost about... He dropped from about a second behind to 4.8 behind because Keto lapped Spin and then Iron couldn't. Now he's out ahead, I think.
He should be right there with Anonymous. Yeah, he'll be fine. 30
yeah,
seconds.
Spin's been putting in a way more fuel. So he's now 30 seconds back. He's on the softs now. So he's going to have to pit in extra time.
I was about to say, I did say this to you when it came. He pit too early on his 2 other ones. He'd have to do 2 sets of softs, which means he's doing 2 sets of 10 on the softs, where Keto's going to do 1 set of 12. I don't know if that's worth. Obviously, Iron didn't really have much of a choice.
Yeah.
Keto's got to just do the 1-stop softs. I don't think he's just got to commit to it now. He's well and truly got to that point. The real question is, how much time is he going to burn here on this first soft stint for Iron compared to the wearing mediums?
God, look at all this traffic. What's going on here? Capel train.
Yeah, Cypher in the middle of this, and Keto's just going to try and blow by part of these 2, I reckon.
I don't know if Scythe's trying to unlap himself or if he's just been lapped.
Either way, he's going to have to get out of the way of Keto's way, and he does so. And now Keto's going to try and get Capel here as well. Get Capel out of the way early. Iron's already caught 2 seconds on this lap, by the way. Yeah, Scythe come in. Scythe's into the pits off softs with a lot of fuel left. Entirely sure why.
Yeah, that was his... Maybe he just wants to go on mediums to the end of the race now? Because he can. Because technically he doesn't have 24 laps left. He's multiple laps down, so he's probably only got 20, 21 maybe.
Yeah, he's currently what, 8?
He didn't actually put in. So yeah.
And he's gonna come out right in front of Oak. Gonna come out right in front of Oak. This is gonna be problematic for Oak now, isn't it? Oh, he's just gonna let him go. Fair enough. Fair play. Oak doesn't get held up.
And he hits the 8-minute 30 mark on the nose right there.
I
dear.
I was about to say, hold on a minute. Why did that have a no stopping sign on my screen? I don't think that's how that works. So the Matt just peers onto the screen, facing the wrong
13
way.
seconds lost with that trip into the gravel for Matt. He's not having a good time at all. I'm going to assume that he hasn't done any practice because he's quick. This guy is pretty fast.
It's not quite the worst stint we've seen today, but it's definitely a challenge.
No, that was a generational stint. That was an absolutely generational stint that the VEZ driver from Hungary did a bit earlier on.
It would take a lot to be worse than that, but at the same time, Matt's giving it his best shot. 9-11 off the back of the group, off the back of the lead. It's not going well in the slightest. 40 seconds off the next car, got 3 seconds worth of penalties. Yupper is just clear of everyone else at the back, and I can imagine the teams that have DC'd are just going to fall straight into that.
Do you know what? I think AHR have had a disconnect in every single 12-hour race so far.
They have, yeah.
Because that Lemon, I think, was AHR.
Yep. He was.
And then
he was
someone
racing from
definitely
Australia.
disconnected in the Daytona one, but I can't remember who. And now Stiggy Moss has.
Yeah.
That is a bad run of luck there. I can understand the Australian one because if you're connecting from that far away, it's kind of like
racing at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, that was what was brutal though. He got up like at a stupid time to race, and then he got disconnected.
116 seconds ahead of Yupper, bummied into the pits here. So he's going to go to the end. I can only assume on a medium tyre here. This has got to be a medium tyre, yeah. Medium tyre, pretty much full tank, so that's the final pit stop from Lost Track and Racing in the 3-hour stint.
Yeah, and Spin is 4.7 ahead, but does he have to pit again?
No.
No, okay, so he's ahead on merit. Okay, this could be an interesting one.
They're fighting for position now.
Anonyma, what about him? Is he to the end?
No, not even close.
No, so they're going to both overtake Anonyma.
Yeah. Pale for measure isn't going to the end either, so he'll be back with Spin.
Yeah, so it'll be those three pretty close together.
Capale has not had a good stint.
No.
It has been a relatively piss poor stint.
I mean, his last lap was a 2-minute 4.1.
Well, he's gone from the fight for fourth with Klinger and Wide, and those two Aero GT cars, to the battle for sixth, but with the cars behind. So he jumped into an entirely different battle here. And, well, Greenshead is going to have to find someone to dig him out of it. I assume Jill might be the one next up, given if he was practicing earlier on. We're not bullying you, we're telling you that your pace has been so poor that you've lost 40 seconds. Actually, 3 minutes pretty much to the dot. You've lost an entire minute. Okay, to the pit. Again!
Surely he's not putting on softs. Surely, yeah, surely.
Got to
I don't
be
believe
medium
it.
to the end. You cannot pit again. For the love of God. This has got to be mediums to the end. Iron has got that down to 21, by the way. They both have to pit again. It's interesting, because they both have to pit again. Iron's going to have the 10 laps compared to Keto's 12. So Iron's going to have the better tyre the entire way down. The gap at the start was 16 seconds. Iron's going to have to put in less fuel as well. I think Iron is going to close the gap overall to Keto. Keto probably still wins the stint and has Aero GT in front, but the gap is not going to be the 16 that Artingren left him. Might be half that if he's lucky. That's going to be interesting, though, because now 3 minutes to the dot off the back of the lead. This is not good news, folk. It is mediums to the end. So finally, the chicanery of God knows how many stops is done. There's been the same kind of issues we had with Project Platypus were having in eSports as well last season, where the strategy just... It was like they went to Sick Boy and asked for it.
Is this the Perry effect?
It might be coining a new term after that one.
Well, you know Perry, he likes to say some unique things every now and then. It wouldn't surprise me if all these strategies come from his brain. Hey guys, I really think this will work, and like he hypes it up so much that people go with it.
Yeah,
Capel looks like he's come out near Anonyma.
That's 7 times for a side. There's Anonyma.
Oh.
There is Anonyma right there, and there's Spin 5 seconds off the back.
Interesting.
So he's ahead of Spin, going to the end. Anonymous we know still has to pit. Also, Perry, have you changed your YouTube name to the name of your team, or have you created a Project Platypus YouTube channel now?
I don't think you can change your YouTube name.
I feel like you can. I don't recognize that Project Platypus being the tag for him the entire time. I feel like I might be losing it, but I don't remember that being the tag the entire time.
Hold on, who are the blue flags out? Is it Wide who's behind them?
No, it's not even close. It is.
Who's behind them? Oh, it's Spin.
Spin and then Dummy.
God knows who that blue flag's for then. Just GT being GT.
Scythe. It's the answer to the question, because that's the group of 4 behind him. So it's the blue flag, it's not the blue flags popping up for the group, but it's blue flags popping up for Scythe, I think.
So Perry, whose idea was it to do softs? Just solely spamming the softs for this race. Because I'm guessing it wasn't BX, because he only just signed up to race yesterday. It kind of being kept because he didn't do that strategy. It was Perry. He's saying I'm not blaming anybody, it was him.
We're just going to blame Perry until told otherwise. Anonymous is being caught by Capello straight away, by the way. I can't imagine Anonymous too far away from pitting. He's going to try and get to as late as he can to go on the softs, I assume. Try and make up as much as he can before he hands off to Astro.
He's got a good few laps left in him before he has to pit.
Could be going somewhere around that 72 mark. Realistically, it means Capello has to actually overtake him on the track. It's not going to be too much of a challenge, though. Look at that.
Jesus.
Capello to the inside. Capello just makes easy work of Anonymous there. Absolutely clean house there with the Polish driver. Canadian has finally got something positive in this race.
Yeah, he's actually made an overtake.
It has taken him nearly 2.5 hours to get on the board with something positive, but he has done it.
What lap is Keto on now? I'm trying to check how long we've got.
He is on
69.
About to turn the 70.
So we've got 15 left. So we've got about half an hour left.
Yep, turned on to 70 now. 14. That gap is really shut down. Iron's 3 seconds a lap quicker at times.
Yeah, Keto's tyres are completely gone, that's why.
Oh no. Yeah, that's not good news if you're Keto. That's horrendous news if you're Keto, actually. Because he's now lost the gap, he's now inside of what the gap was at the beginning of the stint. And Iron's going to have better tyres the entire way. Minus maybe a couple of laps when Keto pits here.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be much of a gap between them, the two teams. I don't know who's going to be ahead, but it's going to be pretty small going into the wet stint. So the wet stint's going to be Matty versus Kajka.
Yeah, something tells me Matty wins that one.
As long as he doesn't make 700 pit stops again.
Yeah, that's true. There's pace in the wet. It's usually...
Because that's what happened in Spa.
Yeah.
Obviously, he had great pace in Spa, but he didn't get a good finishing position because of the amount of pit stops that he made. But the difference is between this and Spa that was the long Spa pit lane. Because you were losing like half a lap every time doing that.
Yeah. This pit lane's not exactly short.
No.
That might be the best way of putting that. It's not exactly short. I don't know. I think it all depends on what the slots actually look like. Oak is 257.
When does the next stint start as well?
Oak is going to be benefited here by the fact that his damage, I mean, he did start maybe about just over a minute back. He had lost a minute in total, but it's not looking as bad as what the scoreline currently suggests. Bear in mind, he's going to the end. The other two are both going to have to pit again, which takes it to about the 2:20 mark. Maybe the 2:30 at worst. Klinger is still ahead of Wide. I assume Wide's going to the end with the state of his tyres, though. Yeah, I think Wide pit on 64. On the end of 63 going to 64. So Wide doing 20 to the end. So he's fine. We know Klinger's doing the same strategy as Keto, so there's a couple of laps still before Klinger has to pit. So Wide will get that position and then some.
Yeah, I'll have like between 10 and 15 seconds on Klinger, but Klinger will have fresh softs.
Yeah. But the more important part for those two drivers is they've cleared an entire minute to Capel.
Yeah, really important with the wet stint coming up. And obviously they're on the same team, so they'll finish fairly close to each other, then start the wet stint, and then we'll just see who keeps it on track, essentially, between those two.
Yeah, Anonymous starts the pit. Spin is under heavy fire from Bummy now. Oh, Lost Track and Racing looking to steal something off TVG here. He's going to go to the inside, much like we saw Capel do on a couple of laps ago. And Dummy the head, a spin, and he gets himself up in 8th.
Yeah, good overtake there. And now how far away from Anonymous is he?
About 3 seconds.
3 seconds, that's easily catchable.
Well, Anonymous starts the pit, so you can forget that. I think Capel's the next man in line.
So he's 5.5 behind Capel.
Yeah, there and thereabouts. Pretty much, yeah. It's between 5 and 6 seconds behind Capel.
So he's got the pace to catch him, but it's just a question of if he has the time. And you know what Capel's like.
On the
Not
end
the
of
easiest
71.
driver to overtake. Yeah, end of 71, so he's got 13 left, so he's probably going to do softs.
He is, but that's not what I expected him to do. You were saying anything above 8 is sketchy.
Well, it is sketchy. You could do. You can't. I mean, he'll be able to do 13, but I didn't enjoy anything above lap 10. Anything above lap 10, I was like much slower than if I was on worn mediums.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just over 50%. He is on the softs. And where's Iron?
20 seconds up
20
the road.
seconds.
Bear in mind, Iron will have to pit in the next couple of laps.
Yeah, less fuel to put in.
That gap is going to be inside 10 seconds, I reckon.
The thing is, if Iron's going to pit and put on softs that are going to be a lot fresher than Keto's, those last couple of laps for Keto are going to be so painful, especially if Iron has a good tyre delta. So I think Iron could catch that.
Iron, it's not going to be the 15 seconds he was dealt with. I would be surprised if it's outside of 5 seconds at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Iron has done a good job just closing in on Aero GT Purple here, so he's put Slipstream Legends in a good place to, well, stop Aero GT going back to back. Bear in mind the Purple team cruised to victory in Daytona. On the backs of Iggy and Platt. So
yeah, they were a lap up on everybody.
Yeah, so they're not going to have it all their own way this time. They're going to actually have to earn this one. This is before Katchka drives it off in the first lap of the next stint, and it's all game over. Yeah, it's 19 seconds. Don't forget, Keto will have the advantage for the next couple of laps at most. Keto's got to close the gap in as much as he can now, because once Iron gets the tyre delta, it'll swing back. Ocon 244 to the lead. Yeah, you did. You did have a DC on lap 1 of your stint at Daytona, Perry. That is true. That is a very true statement.
Skill issue.
Massive skill issue. Anonymous into the pits now then.
So where will he come out? we were saying, can Honda get within, what did we say, a
A
minute?
minute, yeah. A minute was the kind of thing. Honda will be inside a minute here, but I also think Honda has to pit. And Bummy is 5 seconds all but to the dot behind Capel. That is catchable.
Oh, definitely.
It depends on. I'm about to say, it just depends on the lap time. Capel had the better tyres. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens between the two of them. So Anonymous onto the soft tyres. London, I can only imagine. Yeah, there is a pit stop coming here for the Lamborghini. I don't know what time it's going to be. There is no way he's getting to the end on what his current situation is.
What about Yupper? Is he having a pit as well? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it looks like it. I ain't about to put another lap on Yupper, actually. And then obviously Matt is 9:30, the side 8:24, still technically underneath that 8.5 minutes. Done somewhat well actually to keep that underneath that time. I don't think he'll stay there. He might be ever so slightly outside of it, but he's doing a good job to keep it alive at the moment. 19 seconds. So on the last lap, what was it? 2:06. For Iron. What is it going to be for Keto? This needs to be 59s, realistically. 58s even, potentially, to really put the hammer down and get something going. I don't think it's going to be. It might be a 59. It's 59.4, so it's about 1.2 seconds cut in. That's going to be interesting to see now, then. So the gap on what might be a 30-second pit stop at probably most. We'll see it just over the top of 10 seconds.
Yeah, but 59.4 is Keto's fastest lap in the whole stint so far. Iron coming up to a little bit of traffic here. Who is it? It's Yupper.
Yeah, it's Yupper. He goes, Iron's pitting on this lap. Iron is pitting on this lap.
Yeah, he has to.
He go 10, Iron on the inside there. Yupper just lets him go. So Iron is pitting on this lap. We will figure out how close this puts him in relation to Keto then. Because this could be, well, I would say this could be massive if the wet stint wasn't the next thing up. But Iron needs to give Kachka as much of a chance as humanly possible. That's what he needs to do. We go through here. Yupper's just trying to hang on to the back of the Dutchman just to get a little bit of slipstream and help his time out a little bit. 17.1 is the current advantage between Iron and Keto. We know Iron is about to go into the pits. The gap was 16 seconds at the beginning of this stint. Iron is going to look to potentially close that in as much as he can. Oak is also going to close the gap in now quite heavily as well. Dropped him towards about the 2:20 mark. In which I don't think he will be too happy about the way Oak he's driving.
He's got damage on his rear bumper, by the way.
Oh, he has! Oh,
so that's happened on this lap because
no.
he's been solidly in the 201s up until now.
Oh, no. And it gets worse for Oak then. Because that's damage and that's...
How much time has he lost at this split? 11 seconds that he's lost on this lap. So we've missed him go off somewhere.
Yeah, he's gone off.
How many times has that happened in this stint?
I think that is his fourth big mistake. Not including the strategy.
Is he coming in? Really he's carrying on.
Him. No, he's going to carry on. I was about to say, I can't really attribute the mistake to him because, well, they've all done it, and they've all made the same mistake, and they're all going to continue to make the same mistake. I reckon if Jensen's got any idea, any sense, he is not touching a soft tire until he has to. Not later on, anyway.
We'll see. Maybe it was Jensen's idea, and he was like, "Hey guys, I can make this work."
Forget everyone else to get in the stage.
Forget everyone else.
2 seconds quicker.
He can also make the old Nissan work as a car for eSports, so...
That's going to be interesting, because NWR are not going to be able to pick stat pack the cars like the Nissan 13 this season.
Yeah, they'll have to actually pick real cars if they want to compete, I reckon.
Because Distinct and Team 3 are going to go after them. They are going to go after them.
The thing is, though, like, obviously you've got this 1 lap pace from these new teams, which seems to be really quick. But 1 lap pace does not make a successful esports season. We've seen a lot of people join esports, and we just think, okay, it's done and dusted because these guys are really quick over time trials. Turns out, racecraft, race pace, dealing with pressure, dealing with a grid as close as esports always is a completely different ball game.
Oh yeah.
Practicing and racing every single Sunday as well, getting the downforce right, getting the strategy right. Performing under that 10 minutes of qualifying, it's going to catch a lot of people out, and I think in that Tier 1 Lobby B, there's going to be a lot of drivers who are not going to be happy that they end up getting put in Tier 1 Lobby B.
Yeah, there may be. The thing is, there's just so many quick drivers on at the moment from what we've looked at. It's just going to be ridiculous to just... You're going to see some road names in some of these lobbies. I'm so looking forward to it. It started next Sunday. 8 days until the start of the esports season.
At Spa?
Yeah. Which is it's just a classic track, and people are going to go absolutely all over the place, isn't it? Yeah. Beautiful. Just get the eSport, get the standings out. I think it's going to be late Monday. The pre-qualifying standings get sent out. So that'll be perfectly fine. It's 27 seconds now between Oak and Wide, those two going to the end. And Oak's got damage, so you'd expect that gap to continuously come down.
Yeah, definitely.
10 seconds off the back of Wide as well. So
it's basically a 3-way fight for this last spot in the podium as it stands.
Yeah. Unfortunately for the two teams branded with Aero GT, Jensen has to get in the car at some point. Good luck.
True.
Unless
well, we've got Eroticos coming for us.
Oh no.
Hey, Eroticos actually had a good stint in Daytona, so...
What, in the final 2 stints today? Is that Eroticos?
Yeah, I think he's doing the final 2, and I think Lemony, Zach, is doing the wet stint, so he could put us into the top 3, to be fair.
Lemony's a good driver. Like, I get along well with Lemony. I think he's an excellent driver.
Well, he's joining TOC next season for eSports.
I know.
So, that was a big loss for Aero.
Surprisingly, the 3rd quickest driver in their eSports qualifying.
Who was quicker, Ahmed and Sindra?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, yeah, I don't actually know, given the fact that Ahmed just randomly learned to drive in 2 weeks. Even though I just completely forget that Ahmed actually knew how to drive, and just discounted him by this point. Either or. Klinger's actually closing that gap fairly quickly on Wide, down to 9 seconds now. Iron is out, and it is 10 seconds all but to the dot. Almost 11 seconds, actually. To the gap to Quito. So the 5 seconds, there's 5 seconds at least that have come off the lead in this 3-hour stint. The real question is how much more is going to come off the lead in this 3-hour stint? That period of time where
it's going to be close enough that if someone underfuels in the pit stop at the start of the next stint, they will be ahead, essentially. Yeah. But you don't want to underfuel for a wet stint. You just want to put in 100% surely, because you don't know what's about to happen.
Yeah, there's no strategy planning to this. This is just figure it out. Honestly. I would be very surprised, realistically, if people have got a strategy planned and not just play it by ear. It's going to be who makes the best decisions on the next stint. That's a certain. I am not having the greatest time out there on the exit of that chicane in the slightest. He is trying to close it in. Oaks 243 back in his bleeding time.
Yeah, he's going to get
damage.
unlapped by Anonyma because he's got that rear bumper damage, but he's still lapping at the 201s on mediums, which isn't actually that bad.
There we go, Anonyma on through on his soft tyres. Klinger is definitely closing in on wide. That's going to be a very close situation come the end of the stint, but I don't think Klinger gets him. Capel 59 seconds off the back after that, and Bummy had well and truly caught him. Well and truly caught him. That gap was about 5 seconds the last time we saw it. It's now 2.
Yes, they've gone from 10th to 9th after the first 2 stints. Now they're in 7th, but they could end up 6th at the end of this one for lost tracking. So they are going the right way.
Trending very much in the right direction. Wonder who's going to be in the car there for their next stint.
Could be Fak.
Wouldn't be too surprised if Fak had put himself in there.
Fak has to go in at some point.
Anonymous 17 off the back of spin, and Hunden actually has pit now and is only 1 minute and 9 seconds off the back of Anonymous. He's only lost 20 seconds total. Legitimately lost 20 seconds total on the stint.
Just set his own fastest lap, which is only a couple of tenths off the fastest lap of the actual race as well, of this stint. He's absolutely on fire here.
Yeah. Still 10.5 from Iron to Keto. Oh, that's not the track, Iron.
I'll be back in a sec.
Well and truly not the track. It opens up to 11 now. Tyres should be starting to fall off Keto's car. Iron has got to figure this out. He's got to pump in a couple of laps, a couple of great laps. That way he can get that car, that gap inside 10 seconds as low as he can in this last couple of laps here. We're 5 to the end. Actually, technically 6 to the end. We're on lap 79 now. I am very intrigued to see how well this can go. He's currently up on the fastest, well, currently up on his fastest lap so far as Iron, as he looks to cut down on the gap. The gap has come from 11 to 10.3 on this lap alone. 7/10 of a second in hand here for Iron on this particular lap. Klinger down to 6.6 off the back of Wide. Wide just starting to lose control of the time just a little bit. Bummy has dropped to 2.8 off the back of Capel, who's managed to figure whatever it was out on the last lap, being about 0.6 of a second quicker than the American. And it's spin in 8th, 6 seconds, nearly 7 seconds off the back of Lost Track and Racing, and in his own little world now for TBG. Honden has got it down at 108. He's very close to getting himself in a position to maybe snatch a minute here. I wonder if Honden's going to go another stint at some point in the day, because he has well and truly done a number of teams today in this stint. Probably
not, because there's 6 drivers scheduled to race. So we're still waiting for Shippo, for Airman, and Arva Bentz for Eclipse to do their stints, I think.
Scythe did drop out the 8.5. He's now 8.53 back. So
okay.
that did happen.
Unfortunate.
It is 9.9 now, Iron on Keto. It is inside 10 seconds. And that tyre delta is continuously in Iron's favour. That gap is going to continuously come down. You can never really complain if you overall gain on the lead in an endurance race over a stint.
Oh, definitely. Especially because Keto's not really put any foot wrong.
No, he hasn't. Does Iron hope that you could probably cut that gap down a little bit more? Maybe. But if you gain on the lead in an endurance race, that is a win.
He's lapping close to his own fastest lap as well, so he's completely on fire.
He's got it down inside 9 seconds, or almost inside 9 seconds now. That gap is flying down at the moment. That 5-second mark might actually be not looking too far off in the end. We'll have to wait and see. Those tires will fall off eventually for Iron, but Ketos have gone off and then some. 8.8 the gap now. Klinger is well and truly blowing the doors off wide as well right now. The real question is there enough time for him to catch and overtake?
Yeah, that's an impressive final stint to close that gap. What tyres is wide on?
Mediums.
Ah, okay.
Half 1 mediums compared to half 1 softs. Klinger needs to just continuously keep pumping that lap time in because he's going to be forced into an awkward overtake at the end of this race, I think. Bummy 3.2 off the back of Capel, so the charge is over, I think, for Bummy here. I think Capel has survived in 6th place, even if he had given up an entire minute.
Can you just slowly go through the whole order so that I can write down the times? So, okay, 8.7. Yeah.
250 to Oak, and then we've got wide 316.
Yeah.
That's not going to turn into a joke at all. 319 for Klinger, who's only 2.6 off the back of wide now. Then we've got 423 for Capel.
Yeah.
426 for Bummy at the moment.
Okay.
And 433 for Spin. Those three separated by about 10 seconds. Anonymous 448 with blue flag flying up. Oak trying to lap him again. Then Honda 552, almost inside that minute. Actually, 104 back off the back of Anonymous. Yupper 620. There is a DC for a char in the middle of there somewhere, I think. In the middle after Yupper, potentially. 855 for Saip, and then 951 at the back for Max Bayer as well.
Sweet.
There's still a couple of laps left to go. We've got 3 laps to go. It'll be maybe a little bit different after that. Iron is closing in quite rapidly still. 8.1 now to the lead of this race. 8.1 there. Wide is only 1.8 ahead of Klinger, so quite frankly, there's a position change still in the works here. It'll be Aero GT. I know they're called Aero GT White. Why had they made the car silver?
Ask Iggy.
It's just not white, is it? It's just not white.
Technically, I agree.
It's just no technically about it. It's just not white. Very, very, very silver. I'll say that much. Oh, Capel's dropped a little bit. It's now 1.6 to dummy all over again. And as soon as I say he survived, he drops 1.4 seconds on a lap. 103 for Honda. He's going to get himself inside that minute. He's honestly done extremely well here. To be that far back, only lose 20 seconds on the lead of the race itself, and essentially gain 3 or 4 positions in the process. He has done he has done everything that Eclipse Racing could have possibly asked from him.
I'm sure Hurricane will be in his DMs later.
Honestly, could be. Maybe prime candidate for Terror.
Terror. Main team, I reckon.
I don't know about maybe on the lower end of the main team. Continue on. 103 there. Are we seeing anything happening? Capel is still losing time to dummy each corner at this point. And then as soon as I say that, he gains 0.2 of a second. That's not the track.
So yeah, it looks like AHR will be behind Yupper at the end of this one. with because they missed out quite a lot of laps, 34 laps that they missed.
Capello is all over the place here, by the way. Utterly all over the place.
They won't be anywhere near the max time, so that's one thing.
Solace, I guess, for AHR after yet another disconnect.
Yeah.
4 tenths of a second now, split dummy and Capello, by the way. Capello has had a quite horrid lap in comparison. It's not getting much better at that turn 1 either. There is a legit chance that Capello's dropping out of the top 6 here.
Yeah, Dummy looks like he's got the bit between his teeth for sure.
Smells blood. He absolutely smells blood in the water right now. Capello's got to get his head back into this because he is in trouble. That Porsche is going to blitz by him if he's not careful here. It doesn't look great there.
Oh, there it is.
I was about to say that never looked good. That looked far too shallow. And that is a penalty there for Capello. That will put him behind Lost Track and Racing then. And down into 7, Joe Queen's head. Also, Klinger has got wide. Klinger has got past wide.
Oh,
somehow,
nice.
After the biggest botch start he could have had, he's actually ending 4th.
He had an off-track moment as well.
Yeah, it's not been the cleanest stints of by any means by Klinger, but without the mistakes, he could have easily been after Oak on this one.
Well, he started this stint around about 2 minutes and 38 behind, and now he's what, 3 minutes 20 something?
Yeah, 3:21.
Yeah. He's only lost about 50 seconds on the leader as well. Bummy is past Capel with that penalty as well.
Yeah.
Not a surprise. So a few changes at the end of this stint. We're on the last lap now. Yeah. Okay.
5.3 seconds currently sits the lead between Quito and Iron. This is incredible. Iron has cut in 11 seconds to the lead in this stint. He has done his job. He's given Kachka about as good of a chance as he can get, realistically, without being in the lead of the race itself. At that point, it'll become Kachka's do it. It'll be on Kachka to try and follow that up. It's going to be inside 5 seconds. It is going to be inside 5 seconds here.
Yeah, it's crazy how close these guys have been. And it's coming down even quicker now. What's Quito's tyres like? Because I said they were going to be completely dead. Yeah.
Not fun. Not in a million years. He just needs to keep things going for now, though. And he'll be fine.
At the end of lap 7, the gap is probably going to be under 4 seconds. At the end of hour 7, sorry.
Yeah, it's going to be really close between the... Oh my god, that's blinding. That is a blinding sunlight. Jesus. I'll start going down the grid as we go along. Once these two cross the line. See who's the next one to the line afterwards. So Quito to the line, and Quito will hold the lead after stint 3, but it won't be by a lot. It'll be inside 5 seconds. The gap cut by 11 to the end here. It looks like Yupper is next to the line, then it's Bummy and Capel. So Yupper 6:24 to the end. And then it's Bummy after that. 4:30 to the end. Yep, is ahead. Capel 4:31.
Yep.
Then it is Spin after that. 8 seconds, 8.9 seconds ahead of Anonymous, but 11 off the back of Capel. 4:43 on the clock. 4:42 on the clock, and he's going to stick to the 4:42. Anonymous after that. 4:51 at the moment. Running to the line he goes. Will stay with the 4:41. Looks like it's safe next. It'll be at the max limit anyway. and then Oak to the line after that. 3:05 on the clock at the moment, and it will stay at 3:05 as they head toward the end of the stint. Wide is right behind Klinger. Klinger's tires have fallen off. Wide still had a chance if there's one good exit to try and snatch it back. It's not a good exit in the slightest, but Klinger will hang on to 4th. 3:22 to the end. 3:22, I think, for Wide as well. It is 5/10 of a second split the two.
Nice.
The last one left then is Honden. Well, technically Matt as
Oh
well.
yeah, I forgot about Honden. Where's Honden?
5:58 at the moment. 1:06 off the back of Anonyma. Didn't quite get inside the minute, but has put up a fantastic stint nonetheless. He can absolutely hold his head up high today. He has put in an absolute shift.
58.
It is a 5:58 there on the clock for Honden. 10:06 for Matt Debater.
So that means AHL will start exactly 8 minutes back. So half a minute ahead of Aero GT, Emerald, and V-Crap.
It'll be very interesting then to see how this wet stint is going to affect people.
Oh, yeah.
Alright. I think we're what? Maybe 15 minutes or just over from the next stint, I think.
No, we have half an hour until the next stint starts. We're starting at 5 o'clock. Yeah, I make it longer in case it rains in this one and it takes up loads of time. So luckily it didn't. It gives us a bit of time to breathe.
Half an hour until the next stint ends. So 5 o'clock, or just before, will be when stint 4's comms go live. And, and it'll be a long time in the wet. But yeah, we'll see you guys in about half an hour. Peace.